Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 5 of the 2024 MotoOption Supercross Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. I'm Kellen Brower. He is Andrew Wood, and we are East Coast racing tonight. 250 East kicking off. We've got 4 rounds of 450s in the books, and pretty up and down season, I feel like, so far, with a lot of guys, except for Braden Carter in this 450 class so far, Andrew.
Yeah, the only one who seems to be able to stay consistent so far. I mean, he's already got more than one race points lead, so going to be tough for any of these guys. But we're still early, four out of 17 rounds in. Those guys could definitely make a charge. If Carter starts making some mistakes, anything can happen. You can always miss a main. It resets pretty much back to square one. So going to be fun to get some East Coast racing in here as well and see how these guys kind of sort out.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to actually start off the stream tonight with a little bit of a quick call to our man on the ground, Evan Holt, who has obviously been racing 250 Supercross West. I'm not sure if he's racing 450s tonight or not, but Holtzy has some backstories about the riders we're going to see in the 250 East Division. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to our intermission screen, and we'll give Mr. Evan Holt a call and talk about these guys racing on the East Coast a little bit here. So we'll see if we can get Evan to pick up. Evan, are you there?
Hi guys, how are you doing tonight?
We're doing well. We're doing well. How are you? Are you racing tonight? I actually don't know that or not.
So I'm debating on it. I ran a lap, but I don't really know if I want to race. I might just want to watch. I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So yeah, we're gonna kind of pitch it to you a little bit about this 250 East Coast and what we can come to expect. We're looking at the qualifying times here, but yeah, what do you see out of our top competitors rolling into East this year?
So right now, looking at 250 East, Seth Carr on top. I was in the call with Seth Carr for all qualifying, and he really liked the track. For qualifying, he said the E-Road was a little bit high, but other than that, the track's pretty fun. Max Chwalik, P2. To me, Max is a fast racer, but he just recently switched over to first person from third person. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to keep the same speed, but he has, so it's great to see him up P2. And Cade Matterly, who's not usually a 250 fast guy, well, in the Supercross at least, he's in P4. Oh, sorry, my I haven't restarted my my server page, but I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens because the track is really small. Not really many people are going very fast at all, so it's gonna be close racing as well. And the whips for sure, they're getting pretty like flat and pretty choppy. So that's one of the key things to watch out for.
I gotcha. With Cade Matherly, as you mentioned there, he obviously raced West last year and competed against Seth Shirley. Now jumping over to the East, he goes against Balzer, Chwalik, some of these guys that he didn't race last year. What do you kind of expect to see out of Matherly 250 East this year?
The 250 East, I think that he's been overshadowed in SX for sure. In West Coast, I think he had some great rides. He had some good podiums and showed some speed, but with kind of the domination of Seth Shirley and Jed Hollyhead, it hasn't really kind of shown his results. And this is really still a stacked class. There's a lot of fast names. Not so many race winners, but still a lot of guys with pure speed. But I do think that Cade can actually get on top of the box, and I do think that he can maybe show people that he's not just only good at 450, but he's got speed in 252 and can take wins with it.
All right, fair enough. Who have you got for a pick on a win tonight, though, to start the season off here in Detroit?
I'm gonna go with District Design Seth Carr. He's been looking really fast, both in EU and some other race series.
No team bias or
putting
anything.
Some of the fastest laps. Yeah, and he's also up in the championship standings in the RF EU series as well. So he knows how to get race wins. And yeah, he's been putting some time on the game. And I think honestly, if he gets a good start and he stays calm, he's got a good mentality. I think he can win this race. He feels pretty confident.
All right, right on from the ground floor right there. Evan Holt giving us the report heading into 250 East here tonight. Thanks, Evan, for stopping by. And yeah, enjoy your night, man.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on, guys. Have a good night.
All right, that is Evan Holt. Yeah, so Andrew, we're looking at the times here real quick. He kind of ran us through what we see in the 250 class, but what I'm really seeing that he pointed out is close times. I mean, you got everyone from second back to 11th in the 46s, and then a lot of 47s all the way down to 47.9 for cutoff time here. So this is pretty close lap times.
Yeah, when I kind of look at this in the 250 class, especially on these tighter football field stadiums that we start racing in as we start to go East Coast, the lap times will be shorter, but they're also very, very tight from first to 40th. So to me, it kind of opens up the track because there's not guys, pulling 2 seconds on, 15th place. It really kind of comes down to the start, consistency, and just what these guys can do. We see some big names as we started to go down 15th to 25th in qualifying. And it's kind of anyone's race. I know we hit some of the heavy hitters, but it's going to be fun to kind of see how this works out. Some guys aren't really good fast qualifiers. So, you got to watch out for an Aaron Rockefeller, Enzo Buttigni, Seth Crotty. These guys are all guys that are qualified outside the top 20th as we're looking at right now. But those guys could easily come out when a heat race put on the box tonight. So just got to keep an eye out. And I feel like take the East Coast, all these new faces as we get into this series and kind of accept them and not kind of tunnel vision too much in on the top 5 in qualifying.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. There's always going to be a mixed bag in the 250 class, and it's not just going to be defending champion Rasmus Balzer that'll be good in this 250 East division. Let's quickly glance at our 450 times. No surprise again to see Braden Carter, defending champion points leader, up on top at a 44.1. Trevor Burns 44.8, Kevin Frazaka 44.9, and everybody else 45s on back. But are we kind of surprised at all not to see guys like Leclerc up in the mix a little bit more? Nico Martini. I'm just trying to look at some of the guys that we normally see from, the foreign nations, even Pablo Vial. It's an American heavy top 10 here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And this is normally the class that's a little bit more split up. These guys just kind of keeping it going. It's crazy looking at these times. I think Braden's like 2.6 seconds faster than the first 250 qualifier, but I'm almost wondering if some of the guys are kind of getting a little bit maybe burnout or maybe frustrated being so far back in points early. Leclerc, over 30 points back through 4 rounds. If they maybe don't have the same kind of dedication or something, but it's qualifying tight tracks. Maybe there's one big thing that they weren't able to get down that's kind of stopping them from being up there. But we are seeing a lot of different names kind of up a little bit further, and some of our heavy hitters are kind of not showing up or further back than we think.
Yeah, definitely a interesting dynamic in this 450 class to see who really is still feeling the flow versus, like you said, feeling the wear down of the point situation. 46.6 out of Tyler
Chase P
appears to be the cutoff. Chase Blakely just missed it. I think we probably need a refresh, to be honest, but we're just going to take a look at our standings in the 450 class real quick because we have moved on to the East Coast. And yeah, Carter, 28 points up on Seabolt. We asked Doc Smith, who was in studio with us last week, if we felt that 13 points at Anaheim when Carter was already up double digits was a big gap. Now he's a full race distance up, and we've barely made it to round 5. I mean, not to say that the series is over, but Carter's looking pretty good early here.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to need something big to happen, and there's only a few guys in striking distance. So it's really just keeping an eye on what's Braden Carter do week to week, and then Seabolt, Eaglin, and Leclerc. I really honestly don't think there's much going on. I know Hubbard's only a couple of points back, but those are the guys you have to keep an eye on and see if they can put themselves in front of Braden Carter as the week happens. If Carter finishes 3rd and Eaglin, Seabolt, or Leclerc finish 1st or 2nd, at least we see them trying to chip away little by little. But if Carter keeps, finishing 1st and those guys are down, off the podium, it could be kind of a already foreseen future that he's going to win this title.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see whether or not Carter keeps the ball rolling tonight in Detroit. We're going to jump in the server, and did I get booted? I think I got kicked out of the server there. Whoopsie daisies. We're still in Anaheim, so let's go ahead and reconnect and checking out this track real quick, Andrew, before we jump in and
test.
Oh, okay. Awood, did you mute your mic?
No, I did not. I'm here. Okay. I did earlier, but it's been
all right. Let us know on any audio issues that you guys hear with us tonight. If one of us are too loud or too quiet, don't hesitate to put it in the chat and let us know. But yeah, this track here, I heard a lot this week about simple, fast, tight. I mean, it is what it is. It's Detroit. It's a football stadium. I feel like we often have this. What? Client track does not. Oh, I know why. This is
it's
my
the
bad.
Hacks.
Nope. This is my bad. This is my bad. I know exactly what's wrong.
I know exactly what he did.
Fixing it.
Cheated. So as we're doing this, someone in chat did mention Am I tripping, or did I see Guillaume Ferris? And you did. And for a while there, up until our last refresh, he was 39th in qualifying in 250 East and was going to be going on into the night show. But as we kind of looked at that list right there, I did see he was in 45th and out of a transfer spot into the night show. So bummer for him, but man, good to see some pro racers, out here trying to, make some sim races.
Yeah, we also saw Casey Cochran in the 450 class.
Yes, sir.
Cochran has not made his professional debut just yet, coming off of an injury at the moment. I don't know if he's officially announced that, so apologies if I'm blowing you out, Casey. But yeah, so he has not raced his futures races just yet to get his points. Very weird situation. B Riders didn't get points last year, so even though he won Supercross futures, he doesn't have points to race Supercross. So he's still got to do that before he can race. But we haven't seen Casey out here in a good minute since he competed. I think in the 2021 West title was the last time we really saw. But good to see him out here. And then, yeah, as Jalala pointed out in chat, Noah Viney, also a guy that we see out here on very frequent occasion. Good to see him turn in a solid result at he crashed, He crashed at Anaheim too. But either way, good to see him out at Supercross Futures. And hopefully the ball keeps rolling in the right direction for Noah Viney. But yeah, it's always good to see these guys mixing it up and showing what they're made of in sim. All right, I should be dialed now. What happened was I downloaded the open file of the track to edit the cameras because the cameras were a little bit off, and I forgot to delete everything else that wasn't the cameras. That's why I have a client track modified. So apologies. Yes, I do have access to the track, but it's because I need to do stuff like edit cameras.
Yeah. It's not the hacks.
All right. I think we are just about ready to go for our East Heat races. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Let's go racing, Awood.
Let's go racing. I mean, we just got to kind of keep an eye out, see who these 250 riders are going to be. They're going to separate themselves early as we get into this first heat. So gonna be fun. It's always fun starting a new series. Always confusing, trying to figure out who's who and getting down their bikes and gear and numbers. But once I figure that out, it takes me a couple races in. It's pretty fun and see if someone can break out, someone who hasn't really been up in the top spot before, putting themselves in good position. And this track instantly looks like a million other tracks I've seen before, just because more cookie cutter layouts with the football stadiums, a little bit tighter. But I like this, 2 big rhythms off the start. Hopefully that's a little bit tricky. I know people were saying maybe it was easy. Long set of whoops here into some left-hand sand section. This should be fun, kind of seeing who kind of rocks through here, railing some outside lines or taking that inside. Big finish line double into a little double into the corner. And then another rhythm section, triple on, triple off, quad into the corner and off into the wall, looking like Kyle Chisholm.
I saw someone in chat just real quick mention why are 450s starting heat races first this weekend in Detroit. Because the broadcast is going to be on NBC main network, so they quite literally are on the
Channel
biggest
4.
The biggest channel. Well, I mean it's different everywhere, but they're on the biggest channel they can be. They're going to be live, and they wanted to start with the 450s heat races just so that they kind of started with the quote unquote stars of the sport, and any casual fans that may be flipping through the channels on the top end of the spectrum a little bit might stop and see the 450 guys first instead of being like, who the heck are these 250 guys? Obviously, they should know a handful of 250 names as well, but they're just trying to capture the audience.
Yeah,
we do that outdoors a lot too.
Yeah, they do it almost every time. I feel like they're on the Big Bird.
The Big Bird, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, you go out, not many people. Even down here in SoCal, talking to people, oh, you ride dirt bikes? Oh, yeah. Oh, you do flips? Oh, yeah, or then you're like talking about riders, oh, at Pastrana or whatever, and you're like, oh, you ever heard of Stewart? And they're like, maybe. I'm like, okay, well, his brother's here, It's like people don't really know, but hopefully they have heard of, they see number 1, 2, 3, 7, out there on the field. It's a little bit easier to see these guys and maybe some big names they have heard of or seen somewhere on social media instead of throwing in 3-digit guys, and it's just that little bit better, I feel like, for being on the main network.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, Brandino, I will certainly let Jason Wygand know he did a fantastic job. I think we're all golf claps, very proud of Weege getting on the Supercross broadcast. Snaps, claps, whatever. Yeah, something to not piss off the microphone. No, that's awesome. I think it's probably long overdue. I think everyone just kind of expected that this should or could happen at some point. And once politics moved out of the way, we finally have the broadcast booth we all deserved
and wanted. Yeah, I mean, Blair was awesome too. I feel like it was cool because you felt like for so long Weed should be the next guy up. Blair got in there, and then it's like, okay, he decided to step away. He did get his shot, decided to step away and do something else, and for his family or his free time, and then finally was able to let Weege get in there where everyone kind of wanted him. And I mean, it's consistent. Supercross outdoors, he's amazing. I love having Ricky. I do. I think Ricky's gotten really, really good. And then outdoors, rotating co-hosts, getting Stu in there, all that stuff, I think is fun. So I think the sport's gotten to a pretty good place from, Ralph and Emig way back or whatever. But I always liked him. I'm not very critical of the broadcast. I feel like I've always been able to see past that, and maybe some people can't, but I definitely do think that it's in a really, probably the best spot it's been in a long, long time.
Yeah, agreed. Now we just need halftime shows with a panel of just like Ryan Villapoto and
that would be so sick.
Kevin Windham and
like after the LCQs, just put in 10 minutes or something, I guess, yeah, something like TNT, halftime shows. It would be so awesome having a rotating panel of funny people, right? That's when you can be funny and silly. You can have Villapoto in there, right? If anyone watches football, basketball, you see those types of personalities, and I think that would be something that motocross, supercross could use for sure.
Yep, agreed. All right, guys, it is time for 250 East Heat number 1, the first chance that we get a real look at what these guys are made of in 2024. And quite honestly, Andrew, a lot of guys we haven't seen this year. Normally we see a lot of guys race on the West on a 450, but I feel like this year it was really not the case. Like I feel like we saw a lot of guys choose to wait to race on the East, so this is exciting for us.
Yeah, and I think you see that some a little bit, but this seems kind of crazy, the extent of not seeing really any of these names try out for 450 class. Not that I've seen, but I think always the 250 West guys, second it goes East, they're like, give me on the 450, let's keep riding racing, right? Yeah. These guys, I feel like a lot of them, they're riding the 250, they keep practicing on it, they say, I want to get better, stay consistent, and not kind of mess up my flow by going onto a different size bike. So yeah, really interesting, and feels like this class is a lot more stacked, more deep, just kind of mimicking how real life is, with the East Coast seems 4 times more stacked than the West Coast in Supercross this year. So we'll see how this turns out. Yeah. Where is White Drizzle? Holyhead.
That's a good question. I don't know where Holyhead is this year. Maybe Evan Holt will get back on the phone after this heat race and talk to him about that. But here we go, folks. 250 East, catch the fever. It's time to go racing for the first time this year for these boys. Here we go. Off and running in Detroit. Who's going to get that hole shot? Balzer on the one has a pretty good line down the inside. A couple guys got ejecto-cito, cuz on the outside, it's Balzer with the early lead, but Johnny Padani down the inside. His teammate's going to take it over.
Yeah, Johnny Padani with a nice little move right there. These guys both respecting each other. We got third place going a little bit long there. Looked like Cade Matherly was going to try to move into that second place spot, but I like this. Balzer with a great controlled start up the inside, stayed away from all that, and we'll see how this outside in the sand works. Looks like it's a little bit faster, but you're probably going to have to be even going into that corner, at least early on in the moto.
All right, so these guys after one lap having a little bit of a battle, or a half a lap, but I should say that we've already crossed the finish line, jumped one time, so we're on the second lap of the race. Officially, it is Johnny Padani, the TSCZ Productions number 26, leading on this second lap from his teammate Rasmus Balzer, the defending 250 East champion. Cade Matherly on the 25 in third place, and all those guys going for that little stair step, jump over triple line right there, so nice job of getting that line figured out. But different options here, Haywood. We got an over triple double. We got an on-off triple single. Kind of a mix-up in this 250 class.
Yeah, I like that. It seems, his Balzer's getting
the leader's down too. They almost take Matherly with them, trying to sneak in there. Matherly's really trying not to gain an advantage from being off the track, so he's going to let Badani go back by. Matherly second. Vanderbeek now moves up into third. But yeah, continue your point about those offset rhythms.
Yeah, just kind of that one looked like that triple double that we saw Balzer switch to. Gives you an advantage a little bit early. So but then you kind of lose it slowing down for the double out at the end. So that's kind of another line. You'll see these guys take it at certain times. If they are side by side, you can get that little advantage, and then even slowing down at the end is not going to hurt you as long as you control that inside. So it's cool to see lines that, as Vanderbeek goes down into the back of Matherly, and he's going to drop out of third place all the way back to, looks like maybe just outside the transfer spot.
Yeah, I think that's maybe even back to 11th. No, it is 9th still, so he got up just in time before those guys came into the mix. So looking a little bit further back here, Killian Ortiz, Tom Quinault having a battle for 10th and 11th, and you got Vanderbeek in 9th. Austin Bears moved into a transfer spot. He's tailing Christopher McPherson. Balzer's made it all the way back up to 6th on the 1E with Seth Crotty now into the top 5. Riley Hewen up into 4th. And there is Noah Viney, who we talked about earlier on there on the 43. He's moved up into the 3rd position, so a solid effort for him as we focus in back on our leaders. But, man, Johnny Padani, we always know he's got the speed. It's more about the consistency and putting a whole main event together that's been the problem for Padani over the years. And right now making it look pretty good in this heat race despite that little mistake in the whoops.
Yeah, he's always kind of had that flash about him, a little RJ-esque. I feel like I might be getting this mixed up, but I feel like Seth Carr has always been like that in my mind too. Just a couple of these guys in the same class that have the same riding style, but for sure got the speed, but it's all about can they put it together. And some of these guys, one more year gets them a little bit more comfortable. They start to learn how to control that speed a little bit more. So this is a great showing from him off the gate. You know, his competitors had some mistakes, but running up front by yourself here, able to kind of extend this gap and just be smooth gains you a lot of confidence going into the main event, knowing that you kind of led wire to wire.
One name I see buried right now, P19 for Matt Cromie, the Chrome Dog, who was top 10 in points in 450s on the West Coast at a certain point this year, currently running 19th, and that's a rough start for the Phil Ski and Snowboard number 39. Back to Matherly 2nd, Viney 3rd, Hewen 4th, and Balzer now up into 5th as we circulate. Got a couple minutes left plus a lap in this one. Crotty 6th, McPherson 7th, and look at this train coming. Bear 8th, Vanderbeek trying to get up the inside, goes back into 8th. Bear now on the bubble, but we've got Quinault, we got Ortiz, we got Owen Hillman, all right here, and Bear is trying to hold on.
Oh, yeah, Bear making a small mistake there, letting this group get up to him. But, man, that's scary. When you're in the 9th place, you're on that bubble, and you've got 3 guys like that so close. It's really nerve-wracking. Got a little bit of dualies right there. But Austin Bear going to try to get up another position or two, I would think, to kind of and it looks like he's going to be able to. Coming up the inside line, just holds that tighter, and that sweeper gives him a little bit more breathing room, and now he's not the one on the bubble. And as we see that, Maxime Vanderbeek with a small mistake, everyone else with the mistake too.
Oh, the cross jump getting back on the track by Owen Hillman puts Killian Ortiz down. We got guys getting in the mix back here. That was tight with Quinault, Bordeaux, Kyle Boardman also right here. Doyle, and we got Bordeaux hitting the deck right there. But, yeah, so Hillman snuck through. Oh, who's down in the sand right here? That is McPherson picking it up, and he almost loops out when he picks it back up. Now back into the 13 ride as Boardman goes by Quinault and Doyle. So Hillman, despite that off-track excursion, is now up into a transfer spot, but he's making some mistakes. We're seeing the feistiness of this 250 East class starting to shine through a little bit, and we're in the final minute plus a lap of this heat race. It's go time for guys like Doyle, Quinault, and Boardman to get in.
Yeah, these guys are on the outside looking in, and it's crazy to me showing like the West Coast maybe didn't have as many names, and this heat could just be this heat, but I feel like every name that we've seen 1 through 9 is someone who's been up and kind of challenged for race wins. So these guys just on the outside looking in, trying to push up through that stacked field is going to be difficult as Doyle goes down and Hillman goes down as well. Probably got a little bit confused, scared, see someone going down. You try to switch up your line, and that's going to let Quinault go inside, just past him right there into the final transfer position. And now he's got a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it took a couple guys down at the end of the sand, and now Quinault definitely has that gap, like you mentioned, over Doyle. Ortiz still sitting back here. We'll get back to that battle in a minute as Austin Bear has gone down. That is going to shuffle the positions again because Doyle now goes into the final transfer spot. I think I'm saying this right. I don't know what his first name is, but you pronounce that Doyle?
Yeah.
Or Doyle?
I mean, he doesn't even have his real name, so unless he is a Doyle, and that's a thing.
Oh, it's Alex Doyle, so he's just got, improper naming convention. Into the final transfer spot. He's hopping in the whoops, though, so hold on tight to her right there. The white flag is waving, so these guys seeing the white flag now. Final lap of 250 East, heat number 1 here in Detroit. And we're looking at all the guys that are in. Looks like a tough break for Matherly. Slipped back to 7th. And we got our championship winner, Balzer, down. He was together with Hewen after that little triple onto the start straight, and he lost a lot of time. So Johnny Padani brings it down through the whoops on the final lap, kept it consistent. Small mistake aside, Johnny Padani takes 250 East, heat number 1 here in Detroit. Crotty moving up into 2nd as Heckman goes for a ride at the end of the whoops. Crotty will continue on. Viney looks like he's got 3rd locked up. Balzer, Hewen down out of 5th and loses spot to Vanderbeek, I believe. And here comes Matherly on the 25. There is Quinault up the inside. So Hewen goes all the way back to 8th. Here is Bordeaux battling it out with Killiam Ortiz for the final transfer spot. Ortiz, Killiam in the final turn, not quite going to get there. Bordeaux makes the main event. Ortiz just misses out. We'll definitely have to wait for some penalties there.
Yeah, Bear with a huge mistake, throwing that away. McPherson as well, just not able to solidify himself. Carter just short. Chowsey coming through. A Doyle does not rule, and he comes up just short. Boardman just short, or not just short, but very short. Wilksick and Chromie way back. I'm not sure what happened to him, but not the start of his night he'd like to have. We'll have to keep an eye on him through the LCQ.
Ortiz
see what happens.
did get in. Ortiz got in over Bordeaux. So Bordeaux on the 30. Tough break for the Impact. Fast to Eat Pasta number 30. I'm not sure what team that is.
Ride fast to eat
I think
pasta.
that's the Impact team, but yeah. He is now headed to the LCQ as Ortiz makes the main event here tonight. Hewen, Quinault, Matherly, Vanderbeek, all the way up to our winner, Padani, making it out of the heat race here in Detroit.
Yeah, kind of pretty awesome for him to kind of go out and just have that little bit hectic kind of first lap or two. But once everyone kind of broke up, he just rode smooth. Seth Crotty as well. Started back 6th, 7th, and was able to move his way up. Just stay consistent. Didn't really gain much on Padani, but not sure if he lost too much from where he started. So going to have to keep an eye on them as we come to the main event. And going to be fun to see the other half of the field and see if we got as much action in that race as we did in the first heat.
Agreed. I'm very excited to see Heat 2 and what they are bringing to the table for us. We're going to jump back in studio real quick with you guys to give a shout out to a couple people. OG BPC right at the beginning of the stream resubbed for his 43rd month. That is defending champion Braden Carter with that resub. So thank you so much, Braden, for that as he gets ready for his 450 heat races. We also had Idaho Dirt Biker 829 sub at the tier 1 level. So thank you so much for the support. And Air Athletics, or R Athletics, I think is how you maybe say that, also with a sub. So again, thank you guys so much for the support. Really, really appreciate all the love that's been poured into us. That puts us right at 52 subscribers over here on the Twitch. So that's a good number in my opinion. I like that one a lot. But yeah, thanks for the guys supporting us.
It's kind of mid. Yeah.
Oh, kind of mid. Here we go.
52.
You want me to throw 729 under the bus? Easy.
We'll get there when it's time. All right, we'll get there when it's time. No, 52 is my second favorite number, and then my third favorite number, probably 152.
Oh, look at you. You're just a Squiabro fan. Hey, Spadus with the sub as well, hitting us right here in the studio before we jump back in.
Spadus.
I think that's how you say that. Spadus?
Yeah. Spadus.
Spaghetti?
Spaghettis.
Thank you so much for the support. Really,
look
very
at that.
much appreciated for that. All right, 250 Heat 2. Who we got out there? We got Talon Zoller, Seth Carr, Aaron Rockefeller, Chase McDonald, Jason Stubbs, Dalton Cottle, Will Canal, Leaf Ness, Jeremy Schiavro, Daniel Mills looking fresh, Enzo Buttigni. I didn't get through everybody, but we'll check them out when we get there. Ooh, Denizzi and Chad hitting you with the 729 kind of mid, to be honest.
Highlighted message to redeem the highlighted message.
You absolutely hate to see that right there.
Look down at my phone, try to get into action and see that, and I was just like, oh, man.
Oh, man. Hitting you hard. All right, here we go, folks. 250 Heat number 2 from Detroit. Let's get it as we are off and running. Checking out Daniel Mills off the start. He's going to get pinched. Up the inside is a Honda. It's Austin Partolo of District Designs with the whole Shiat. He's got his teammate right there with him on the inside. That's Seth Carr, our fastest qualifier, who Evan Holt picked for the win here tonight. Big pileup going into turn number 2, but it's District Designs 1-2 here on the first lap.
Yeah, those guys sending it. And Seth Carr actually did not have to slow down for that 3-3-2 into the corner. Not sure what Balzer did. It didn't feel like he was but kind of avoiding anything. But that 332 looks very fast. These guys both off to hot starts. District Designs this season, both coasts looking very good and looking fresh. Everyone kind of starting off hot in the first couple rounds, and these two, their speed looks very good out the gate here.
Yeah, this is a good fight between teammates to start it off. As it's going to get tight, Seth Carr is trying to pass Partolo, and Partolo's doing a good job of just holding on right here. Swung that corner real nice and made sure that Carr couldn't get down the inside, both scrubbing this triple into the corner. Sometimes you get teammates out front like this, and maybe they're in a Discord together. They're sharing a little bit of fun while they battle for the lead. We also have Rogan McIntosh right behind these guys getting in the mix. I think that's D-Mills back there.
Yes,
Partolo swaps out. Oh, and just as he was about to go to the lead, Seth Carr tucked to front end. So Partolo maintains that position. McIntosh into the 2 spot and Carr back to 3rd.
Yeah, Carr back to 3rd. He's got D-Mills hot on his heels now. So this 2, 3, 4, 5 battle is now starting to get heated. Carr just little mistakes, and I feel like in the 250 class so far, we're seeing a lot of guys go down towards the end of that whoop section. So going to be something to keep an eye on as the tracks break down in the later races. But Carr looking spicy and trying to get back up there. I don't think he was pushing too much on his teammate Partolo, but he definitely is right here to make this move up the inside into 2nd place. D-Mills goes down in 4th right there.
How many spots is he going to lose?
All sorts of people. Ooh, that gear is sick, though.
How many spots, man? Look at this, all the way back to 12th, I think. Yeah, 48.7 for D-Mills last time by. Jack Mark, Will Canal went by with Enzo Buttigny now moving into the final transfer spot. So Seth Garrett, Jeff Cooper, Gummison. Ooh, who was down right there after the whoops?
McIntosh again.
Yeah, and he's going to slip back into, in a battle for a transfer spot around the outside. Oh, man, McIntosh, you just let us down heavy on the dualies with Will Canal.
Will Canal. Yeah, that gear. Is that?
That's FXR right there.
Maybe it's just from what we see or the number of the colors. That gear does not look very attractive from out here.
Take a look. It's a little cheetah print.
It's pretty horrendous.
824 ride.
I think if it didn't have the neon number, if it just had a white number, I think it'd look pretty good. But first,
FXR's out there, man. They're trying to go for some really interesting colorways.
They do. I like most of their stuff. It's just maybe it doesn't gel well with the half cheetah, half tiger kind of pattern scheme. But look at him right here in 9th place. Ooh, someone gets a kick, and I think that's a rider down. Seth Garrett was down in the whoops, so that allows everyone up another spot. Now Canal's not on the bubble. He's actually into 8th, but still trying to push forward.
Yeah, McIntosh still right behind him, and then Buttigny just ahead of him. So Jeff Cooper up here in the 6th spot. Gummison rounds out the top 5 with Garrett Hollenbeck. Oh, is that Carr down? Seth Carr down onto the start straight. Going to lose 3 spots. Keep it tidy at 2, only losing those 2 spots. Hollenbeck did go by. Schiavro did as well. Still Austin Partolo leading this thing halfway through 250 heat number 2, skipping through the whoops a little bit as his teammate Jeremy Schiavro now moves up into 2nd place. District Designs heavy heat race and might go 1, 2, 3 right here because here comes Seth Carr to the outside trying to take over the 3 spot.
Yeah, I really like that outside line when people are able to come in even. They can rail around and kind of have a nice little jump into that finish line, carry a lot of speed. And Seth Carr is carrying a lot of speed everywhere, though. We see him coming up a little bit. Looks like he's just a little bit faster. I mean, he's fastest qualifier out there for a reason. But it's just fun to see him kind of get up behind these guys and just slowly inching towards them, just carrying a little bit more speed through every rhythm and every corner. And Carr going through this long rhythm section, that thing's a little bit tricky, but actually making a little mistake jumping deep and having that rider come up right on his tail.
That is Hollenbeck, sorry.
No, you're good.
Is closing up on the Takatoji ride, but these teammates still battling it out for second. Seth Carr giving up on the inside line. He's just charging to this outside, and he might make the pass stick. He does, with a little kind of dualies, little hump dualies over the finish line jump. But Carr now moves up into the 2 spot. Again, he's been going back and forth between this 2 spot through the top 4, and now he's trying to set sail for his teammate Partolo out front. So Hollenbeck 4th. Jeff Cooper rounds out the top 5. Gummison now 6th with McIntosh in 7th. Jack Mark has made it up into the 8th spot on the 121, and D-Mills is in our final transfer spot. Langstrup and Dalton Caudill just on the outside looking in with Seth Garrett and Enzo Buttigny a little bit further back. Let's check out what these guys got going as they try to battle up to D-Mills for this final spot.
Yeah, he's holding it tight. He did give me a update on the track, and I can't really say it on the air, but he said it's basically completely curse word terrible. That would be my paraphrasing kind of.
Okay, all right.
But I don't know. I think a lot of these guys not liking it, see more people go down at the end of the
Yeah.
whoops, and that might be something that they're frustrated with here. But I haven't seen too many people making really mistakes through the rhythm sections. This one looks pretty easy for most people. Haven't seen too many mistakes. More so people going long, getting their timing wrong. So it would be interesting to talk to some more people later, kind of get some racers in chat, maybe even telling us if there's things they specifically don't like. But D-Mill's now getting a gap way behind him in 9th place, so he's going to just try to keep moving forward, keep on Seth Garrett's tail, and try to get himself out of the bubble. But now the leader has passed the finish, so they got about a lap and a half to go.
Yep, 1 lap left to go for Austin Partolo out front. I'm a little surprised, like you mentioned, this track is biting so many people because it looks easy on paper. I know a couple of people in chat saying it's a little bit more technical than expected, but really the whoops is it's jumping out to me because the whoops are one of the few things on the track that I thought seemed a little bit easier this week than what we've seen in past. They're a little bit peakier, close together, and not too difficult to get up on top of, but maybe it's just biting these guys, losing drive through the whoops. So Austin Partolo going to bring us down the whoops one final time. He is up on top of them, things making it look real smooth and simple. And Austin Partolo brings it to the flag. Checkers are out. Partolo takes 250 heat number 2 here in Detroit. Schiabro is going to make it a District Designs 1-2. We've lost Seth Carr, so Schiabro ends up in the 2 ride. Hollenbeck third with Cooper. Dooley's over the finish line, jump right behind him in 4th. Seth Carr, I should say. Jeff Carr crosses the line in 5th.
Oh!
Whoa! Gummison
He got across the line too?
Well,
maybe?
no, that was not for a position.
Oh.
D-Mills ends up in 7th, McIntosh 8th, and Seth Garrett got all the way up to 9th. So Jack Mark just missed out, as did Dalton Caudill.
Someone clip that.
Langstrip, Max Schwalik, Talon Zollers, Will Canal, Chase McDonald. Someone went by Chase McDonald. Leith Ness, Cole Betts, Enzo Butigny, and Jason Stubbs. So it was Rockefeller a lap down, lap down in 21st place that was in that odd battle thing that he was doing to the flag right there.
Yeah, I saw him go down and get lapped, but a little bit interesting when it's someone, in a transfer spot. If that was, these guys both for position, that would have been a sick way to try to gain a little bit of time. But interesting to see that as a lapper. Not really a fan of that one. But, man, Partolo with a great ride. It's kind of the same as the first race. One completely stacked field in this 250 East class. This is going to be great racing, I hope, all year. But Partolo had a little bit of challenge from his teammates early, and then everyone kind of started having mistakes, and he just kind of took it home. 12-second lead as they got to the finish line, and looking good in that number 52 ride.
Indeed, no question about it right there, as Austin Partolo picks up the win here in 250 East Heat number 2. Now we get back into the normal stuff a little bit as we see the 450 guys getting ready to go to the gate. What I'm excited about with this 450 class a little bit tonight, aside from a few unfamiliar faces to the series at this point, like Casey Cochran getting back in the mix, is to see where a handful of our 250 West competitors end up racing in the 450 class tonight. I didn't see if we had Seth Shirley, our championship leader on the West, racing a 450 or not. But it's always kind of interesting because we didn't see many of these East guys racing out West. Now we get to see if the West guys are racing East and kind of where they fit in and stack up.
Yeah, so I think I might have saw Seth Shirley in there. I think if he wasn't in the top 10, he was just around it. And I did see a comment earlier in chat from some people saying that there were multiple 250 West Coast riders inside the top 10 in qualifying. So will be interesting to see how they kind of how they show up and how they fit into the class here. To me, it's always fun and interesting because I feel like it gives us a little bit of preview of where the guys are at in their careers, if they're going to move up to 450s, for outdoors or next season, but also just kind of maybe getting a little bit of spoilers in there. And it's not his fault, but Braden Carter, 28 points ahead right now in the championship. This championship could get pretty boring pretty fast, so it is fun to see some new names in there if they can put themselves up inside, challenging for top fives, podiums, stuff like that, coming from the 250 class.
Yeah, I'm also kind of keen to see if these 450 guys are doing anything wildly different on this track. I did hear that out of the second turn, there's a potential quad line going single table, single in one jump, and then quadding all the way into the corners. So I don't know if that's going to be a viable race line of any shape or form, but hey, if these guys are in a battle or something like that and you maybe uncork that to gain some time, it could be a little bit exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome to see in the battle. I feel like there is also a possibility of someone getting out a nice kind of early lead in the heat race here and uncorking it and seeing if they can kind of get it a little bit more consistent to either extend their lead and get some more reps in before they get to the 450 main event. You know, you want to get comfortable on any big lines that you're going to kind of break out here. I would almost feel like they could quad over after the finish line as well, over that table, maybe quad single or quad triple on off. So going to be fun to see if these 450 guys can do anything different than the 250 class. And I feel like that is something I'm always kind of looking for, seeing I like big lines out there, and I feel like most people do too. So
oh yeah, we love the big lines. Braden Tharp actually said that you can also go 4-5 after the finish. So as you mentioned, going over table and then jumping all the way to the corner after that, that would be something else. So T-Lane, Caleb Hall, Caden Speck, Kavit Judy, Frank Jackson, Timmy Briscoe, John Heilman, Jack Haley, Trevor Burns, Nick Thomas-Tunis, for Zaka, Ethan Parks, Logan Leitzel, Hayden Stevenson, Dominic Tiberino, Luke Magnetti, Casey Cochran, Luke Sullivan, and Adam Holm going to the gate. Quick shout out, by the way, Logan Leitzel here cruising around right now in the 7th spot. Hunter Cross, who races 250 West competition, I believe I have that correctly. Just on press day, hear him just, I'm standing next to Ken Roxton trying to interview him, and I hear, Doolies! And it's Hunter Cross cheering me on.
Hunter did?
Bit,
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome when we get that. And he, I guess, watches his buddy Logan race. So shout out Hunter Cross. Thanks for the love you showed me. And we're going to show a little bit of love, hopefully, to Logan Leitzel here in this heat race. Let's see. He's lined up just next to the box. But here we go. 450 heat number 1. Ready to go. We're off and running. Not a great start for Leitzel. Pretty good jump out of the middle, though, regardless of which it was a Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM that got there. Luke Magnetti ends up with the whole shot. Jumping through, though, is the 2019 champ, Jack Haley. We still don't have his skins because he probably doesn't have skins himself.
Honestly, you're probably right with that. I would assume he does not have skins. And Jack Haley, I was going to ask the same thing. What year is this? Because haven't seen Jack Haley run up front in a while, and as he makes a small mistake, it's got to be a whoop about 3 out that those guys are hitting that's messing everyone up. But he does lose the 2nd place position, and that allows, I don't know who that is.
That is Magnetti.
Magnetti into the lead past him, but Jack Haley looking kind of feisty early here. I feel like we haven't really seen him so far in this championship. So yeah. Not at least out in a position that kind of matters, as we see a big pile up way back in the field. Yeah. But these two are leading, getting close, leading over Tyler Lang, and then a big gap to Adam Holm. So these 3 early in the first lap have separated themselves from the rest of the field.
Got a couple champs right here. Luke Magnetti, I believe, won the 2021 250 West Championship, and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. We really never saw him after that as he swaps in the whoops a little bit right there. But same story for Jack Haley, 2019 Supercross champ. I think he won the outdoor title that year too. He was really, really
I think he
good.
won everything for like a year and a half.
Yeah, but Jack Haley was really solid there for a year and a half or so, and then again kind of fell off the face of the earth. But now they're back here in Detroit battling for heat race supremacy. Tyler Lang back there in the 3 ride, still close with Adam Holm in 4th. Trevor Burns in 5th. Leitzel is in 6th, so he's in a good transfer spot right there. Briscoe 7th. Sullivan in 8th, and John Heilman is in the final transfer spot, as these guys are absolutely tossing it over these triples right now.
Oh, yes, tossing it, wet salads everywhere on this field as Luke Sullivan comes up side by side through this first rhythm section. People said it was kind of tricky. I feel like maybe more so on the 250. Luke Sullivan gets into the back of him, going to lose the spot to Heilman there as he goes by, coming into the rhythm section here. Let's see these guys, how they fare through the whoops, because it's right there in the middle. It seems like these guys are starting to get upset. Holm down, and he's going to be out.
9th, I think. Oh, no, you're right. Back to 10th for Adam Holm. Tough break for the 17 ride, who was up in 4th earlier on. So these guys all, trying to figure it out. So Stevenson on the 12, John Heilman on the 49, a couple 250 West guys out here getting after it in the 450 class. Leitzel into the tough blocks right there. Oh, Jack Haley's coughed up the lead, so Magnetti back out front and to the tune of a few good seconds here. He's got some time on T-Lang there on the 5 behind him. Oh,
he's fighting for his life through the whoops.
It is getting a little cattywampus too often there for Luke Magnetti on the 219 Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM. Let's go find some battles, though, because these guys are still mixing it up. Jack Haley, Logan Weitzel,
I like
Briscoe,
this.
Heilman, Sullivan, Stevenson. Who's that right behind Stevenson? A lap down, it looks like, because they're not coming through for us. So Stevenson is in the final transfer spot, and whoever's right behind him is in
Just chasing.
Yeah, just chasing him, not in this battle. Sully trying to go after Heilman. Heilman on Briscoe. Leitzel just up the road. And Haley, man, this is a good freight train right here. Going 4th back to 9th, I believe.
Yeah, you showed Jack Haley, and I saw 3 guys. We see Heilman moving up the inside. Also, my early candidate for Lit Kit winner for this round. I love that gear setup he has. Super clean, but goes down, goes off the track. That's something you got to learn to do, is get back on when you're sending it on the outside of the bales. He gets caught up.
Track re-entry if I've ever seen
And
one.
look at that. Yeah, loses a couple positions. Now he's 11th place and a long way back from that battle. Ethan Parks looks like a bumblebee. Possibly the opposite. I know that is our team, our teammate, but the opposite of a Lit Kit. I feel like you gotta break up the yellow a little bit. You don't go all in.
Yeah, why not?
Because someone's got to run the gold gear. That stuff is fire, and that's what I've been running anytime I get on the track. Adam Holm absolutely tossing as we switch to him, holding up the 8th place position.
You surprised at all to see no one try to go over that single right there on that little kind of ski jump?
So, yeah, I just feel like the amount of speed you need, I feel like if we do see anyone do it, it's going to be Alexis Leclerc, just because his crazy suspension. But I feel like the speed you have to get to hop over it, you're maybe going to pop too far off the 5 and a little bit too deep turning onto the start straight. Stevenson, though, bringing it up nice and close. And these guys are absolutely sending it. It's been about a 5 or 6 man battle in the middle of this field inside the transfer position since the gate dropped. But Logan Leitzel kind of leading the pack around.
People in the chat not happy with Awood's opinions on gear tonight, apparently.
What?
But we're still going at it. 5 minutes into this 6 minute plus 1 lap heat race. And hey, battle for the lead is starting to brew. Magnetti is still holding on to it, but Tyler Lang has been inching closer and closer on the 5, the JIBR.co machine. We've been waiting to say, where is Tyler Lang this year as they throw doolies over the finish line jump. And T-Lang has finally showed up. The series goes east, and he comes out to play. He's trying to take over the lead in this heat race from Magnetti. We're going to get back-to-back dualies. Let's get it. Yacht
dualies. Got to get a little bit closer, a little bit tossier. If you're with T-Lang, tell him to get up close and throw that thing upside down. I know he has it in him. But these guys, yeah, we haven't gotten a really, really good dualies. I was really upset with the comment on one of the archive videos. I think I brought up last week that the guy was like, I hate that they say dualies anytime anyone whips next to each other. And D. Davis was like, dude, it's tradition. Leave it alone.
It is tradition.
So clearly, if you don't like it, you can just leave. And Luke Magnetti, though, going over the finish line. Moving in. He's got a solid ride so far here as they come on to the last lap of the race here.
Here comes Holly.
Do have some visitors here. Holly might get on the mic and
say, Holly.
Yes, Jesus with me. Yes.
All right. That is a church song.
The
Yes.
song-
Oh, Magnetti, just after getting passed by T-Lane, goes down.
So she broke out that song before dinner and then seamlessly moved it into Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So that's what I was surprised when I heard that morph into that before we ate some delicious tacos made by your wife tonight. But coming in with the bangers as T-Lang comes in with a tosser over the whip
Dubs
and
it, dude.
throws it down, taking the win. Jack Haley holding on in second. What's gotten into this guy? Who knows? Sullivan in third, tossing. Oh, my God.
You guys upside down right now.
I think it was Magnetti when you start dragging peg and you just go into a crazy spiral.
Ethan Parks and his quote-unquote horrible gear.
I'm trying to.
Tonight.
I just don't.
Timmy Briscoe makes
I don't like
in.
it.
Hayden Stevenson just missed out 0.5 of a second. Heilman Hall. Cochran misses out. Tough break for the 166. Frank Jackson, Nick Thomasunis. Tibber Nipples is back. Where has he been? We got Caden Speck, Dylan Cavicciuti, Kevin Ferzaka, and Holiak never left the gate. Take a look at penalties. The 91 was P9, and he stays P9.
And Leitzel got like half a second, but that changes nothing.
Yeah, so 10th and 11th swap spots. But everything else up ahead stayed The exact same. Haley's still second, but T-Lane picking up the dub here tonight in Detroit.
Wow. Thank you so much.
We'll come back in studio just for this, Haywood.
You may have the best wife on the planet. She brought me a beer, or no, she brought me milk and an extra brownie the other day. Just crushing it. Thank you.
Cheers, gentlemen. 250 East kicking off. Good times.
Oh, wait. These mountains are so blue.
They're so blue, dude.
And frosty.
We keep them at the back of the fridge.
I could see it from coming in. I was like,
they
just look a little bit special here tonight.
They look a little special. All right, so 450 Heat number 1 is done. 450
Heat 1 is done. And I mean, some surprises there. Jack Haley crushing it. Coming out of basically his 4-year hibernation, I feel like he's been taking. But gonna see if he can keep that drive. You know, maybe he's been playing with D Mills, his buddy, and kind of gotten some drive back. Who knows? I know D Mills said he wanted to win a championship, didn't ride like it in his heat. But I mean, this 450 class is so competitive until we see Braden Carter. That's what it always kind of feels like. So yeah. Oh, we got a couple hydrates in chat, and I haven't taken a sip.
And Brandrosian.
Also, Nate guy YZ, he said, I think you may have been wearing that gear in the team shoot. You must have liked it that I didn't show up for and he rode for me in. So that was the gear that he picked for me that I've been talking crap on, which is just awesome. I do know drip. Know drip.
It would.
I know ball too.
Oh, even Colton Heckman hitting you hard. You got no taste.
What?
No taste. I honestly think the yellow is kind of rad. I think it ties together well.
I think it needed to be yellow and black. I think the yellow and gray threw it off, but also throw in a different helmet. We have 42 different sets of gear and helmets. You can mix and match. We got it all.
All right. Marcini, Turley, Carter.
All right, you guys are...
Tharp, Horn, Rogers, Vial, Holtze, Shirley is here tonight. Hubbard.
Surely he can't podium
Davis,
this heat.
LeClaire, O'Brien, Bendis, Seawold, Smith, Allen, Larson. Eaglin must be in this one as well. This is a freaking stacked heat race.
Yeah, this is nuts.
We get to see the number 2 of Seth Shirley as well.
New lit kit. That stuff's fire.
Oh, yeah?
I think that might be from... See, I don't hate all FXR stuff. It was just one bad set of gear. Companies do it. But, yeah, that stuff is clean. It almost looks like he kept it on from the retro round, but I don't know. I really, really like that. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see Seth Shirley. Where does he put himself in here? Look at Jeremy Smith. That's showing how an SYS kit does it. Yellow and black bike. You don't go all yellow and black Bumblebee stripes. I'm getting a 50-50 in the chat now, and I'm loving this. This is the perfect side combo I love to have going on in the chat. B-Lars looking good, feeling good. All our SoCal boys, you know, got to cheer them on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Tanner Cross, or
Tanner what?
Wow.
Tanner Rogers? Tanner Rogers?
No. Holy crap.
You okay? What's going on?
I'm having an aneurysm.
Uh-oh.
Hunter. That's not even the right word either. Hunter Cross, talking about him yelling doolies at you. He's freaking awesome. SoCal kid too. And he used to be, when I first met him shooting photos, he was like just the guy that like throws whips, right? Always at Paula, like just tossing it. And it's been cool to see him kind of move up and kind of start racing Supercross and kind of transition from like just SoCal kid having fun to racing seriously and, you know, racing in the night show. So shout out to him as well from my side.
I apologize if my mic is low sounding or off. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but we're back to racing here. 450 heat number 2 is underway. Carter deep on the inside. And we got Jacob Hubbard getting the whole shot. You've heard it once. You've heard it 1,000 times. Hubbo knows how to get off the gate. His teammate hits him, though. Tanner Rogers, and literally the entire field is stacked up in the second corner. Who got out of this one? Pablo Vial with the lead, and Braden Carter into second place. Carter with the silver rims tonight. I don't know if that's on purpose or we don't have his rims. But Carter now down the inside takes over the race lead. And is he gone? I think he gone.
Yeah, I think he gone. And Braden Carter, man, that was awesome. Only really 2 guys making it through. I mean, maybe we see like 6 or 7 now, but that is awesome. An accidental punt of your teammate who was just absolutely cruising in the lead into the first turn. And you're just like, yeah, I've got this. I'm going to lead a couple laps here. No, it took out about 15 guys in the field. And that's just kind of hilarious to see here. But Braden Carter out front, not hilarious for everyone else in the field. And also, if you look in the chat, the amount of hydrates that Nate drink, we would need about 6 beers shotgun to keep up with that. So, have not been keeping up, but thank you for redeeming all the points in chat.
Look, as soon as a beer is open, Nate is involved. Vial goes down out of the 2 spot, though, and that moves Alec Horn up to 2nd. Seabolt now to 3rd. Holden Cote is now 4th. Castellaneta into the top 5, and we've got dualies, trialies. Spencer Turley cases the dog water out of the finish line jump, makes a pass anyway because Vial went off the track. We got guys going. Bonaire, Leclerc down the inside comes Evan Holt trying to get in the mix. We got Seth Shirley.
Look at this absolute train.
11th place for Shirley right now.
Wow.
Oh, look at this, dude.
I haven't seen a train like that since my last time in Vegas. That was absolutely wild. We got about 8 dudes in this one. And they're absolutely crushing it. Shirley moves up. In the 10th, in the 9th, as another rider goes down. Vial goes from the lead to 13th place in 1.5 laps.
Absolutely hate to see it.
That's one of those. You do just hate to see. Seth Shirley, though, P9, showing that he can transfer.
Shirley and Turley, baby. Let's get us some dualies.
Oh, hey there,
dude,
guy.
The hydrates are insane.
This is nuts.
It's like they saw that we had a couple drinks and now we're being funny and they're into it.
If you guys...
Oh, here we go. Quadsies. Oh,
dually boner airs.
Alongside Castellaneta and Shirley. We got 4 riders nose to tail. Jeremy Smith off the tail end of this. Look, we got 6 guys in one turn right there. Oh, Turley cross jump. Carl
dudes.
Absolutely turns up Holden Cote as they go off the track side by side. And man, these guys are loose right now.
Yeah.
Castellaneta, Holtzy, Shirley. Where are we at?
Loose in chat, loose on the track. We don't know where anyone is. Shirley went from 12th to 6th just from everyone else dying. Hey, save your hydrates for like a couple weeks. Maybe I'll stay the night here and I'll just sit here with a 24 pack on the couch next to me and we'll just do a beer counter. Maybe we get one of those nights going here soon.
Yeah,
but
look,
if you guys have these hydrates, chill out and save those.
I'm going to Vegas in a couple weeks for my wife's 30th birthday, so the training program starts now. We got to get ready.
Maybe next week we do a drunk stream. Who knows? We'll get some slurs just like some 2019 freaking outdoors. We had a couple good rounds there.
Well, Braden Carter is leading this heat race and off and running with this thing at the 3:41 mark of this, as we still got a couple minutes and a lap left to go. Carter just cruising. Seabolt in 2nd, though. Lap time check. Let's take a look. 46.2, 46.1. They're matching pace. No one going for the big dog lines just yet. Who's the first to uncork it? A-Wood.
First to uncork it. I mean, I feel like it's got to be. Braden Carter. Whoa, did he lose a lead?
No, it's still Carter right there.
Oh, I thought he was leading by like a lot more. Seabolt looking good. I don't know. It's got to be one of these guys in the. I feel like they got to do it sometime in this heat race just to kind of get it out, but maybe not if Seabolt's so close. Maybe they'll do some practice rides, during the 250, 450 LCQs and just get it comfortable. But who knows if you need it with the lap times these guys are running. 46.2s, but we know they can go lower. 44.1. Was the fastest qualifying time by Braden Carter, so who knows, maybe that's something he will uncork later on if he does need to drop those lap times to a certain point. So maybe he's just keeping it in his back pocket?
Maybe. I was thinking it's contingent on the rut entering out of the corner, and maybe it's just not good enough yet, but it is getting deeper, so maybe if these guys can arc this corner well enough. Right there. It seems like he wants to go for it because they're getting close. But here we go. Seabolt corks the quad in.
Woo!
And the quad out, on board with it.
What
How
a
much
legend.
time did he gain? Nothing. He went from 3.1 to 2.9, so a couple tenths.
No, reminds me of Phil on the Pulp Show saying that he was doing the quad and Shimoda went on off behind him. He's like, dude, still caught and passed me. He's like, so why am I doing the big jump? Seabolt, man, if he's doing that, I was hoping he'd uncork something here in this section, but man, these guys are absolutely barking, but just shows Seabolt's comfortable enough to do that. He did drop his best lap time 46.2 or matched it what he had before doing that line. So going to be interesting.
From Carter. Here we go. Here comes Seabolt. Going to triple his way into this corner. Carter is going to see him closing up. Let's see if Seabolt uncorks it again. He does not. Goes over triple-double. And coming to the white flag, I believe, this time by. Yes, time will. Oh, man, it's going to be really tight. 2 seconds, 1 second, and time And white flag is waving. Seabolt versus Carter at the front. This is first and second in points, but it's a big gap. Seabolt wants to take any momentum away from Carter than he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of showing he doesn't need to show us much more than this. I mean, Seabolt's the only other person he has to beat, right? Leclerc is way back in 7th. I mean, it's just a heat race. It doesn't really mean much, but if you can go out, I feel like this could work two ways. Show Braden Carter that you just ride if he's kind of cruising, that he can stay ahead of him. But also maybe this does give Seabolt some confidence as he uncorks this quad here again. Elects not to quad because he hangs up. But I mean, if he might actually gain a lot of confidence saying, oh man, I hung on to Braden Carter right there. I didn't even unlock my full potential in that heat race. As they come to the line, 1, 2, and Braden Carter holds off. But man, that's a great ride by Seabolt. And actually, I do think that's going to help him with a lot of confidence. He's the only one that can really kind of do anything in this championship.
All right, Castellaneta is going to cruise this thing home in 5th. Ooh, Vial down in the last corner out of 6th. So Leclerc goes by into 6th. Davis into 7th. Rogers into 8th, and Colin Allen goes to the main event in 9th. Bendis and Vial, who was in a transfer spot, blows it in the last corner. Jeremy Smith, Holden Cote, Spencer Turley, B. Lars, Evan Holt, Jacob Hubbard, who hole shot this thing, Blake O'Brien, Braden Tharp, Nico Marchini, all missing out on this one. Did we ever clarify who hit Hubbard going into the second turn? I know it was his teammate, but I don't remember who.
No, and it's kind of difficult because there's about 50,000 KTMs, and I'm pretty sure it was a KTM with black and white gear. But maybe if we go through the field, we can surely accuse some people. Who's his teammates? What team's he on?
B. Lars, it's Phil's. Not Code. Vial. No, I don't know, man. I don't. We got to come back in the studio. Haywood, we got to get back in studio and talk about the fact. How many hydrates do we get here? I'm gonna start counting.
You're going to count?
Yeah, I'll count.
Okay,
So
I'm going to talk. Hubbard also, cutting the Hubbard right there and him throwing down, he just looked like a windmill, was pretty awesome as the last guy coming across the line. But man, some great racing so far through 4 heat races. We're having a good time out here on Twitch. We got so many people watching us. This is just awesome. I love all the support in chat. We got another stretch right there, so I might have to do my little back breaker that I threw on this couch because that really helped me out last time. But yeah, I mean, some great racing, and save some hydrates, guys, for maybe an upcoming week or two. We might throw down. I'll have a little cooler right here next to me. Start crushing them, and we'll get loose. Kellen is counting. Add 1 to whatever number you get. I don't even know if he can count that high, honestly. His wife is the math whiz, and we'll see how far. And it's a couple people that were throwing basically all their points at us. So cheers to all you guys for being here, supporting us, having a good time in chat. If you guys have any questions right now, feel free to throw it down. Braden Carter is winning by 28 points, so it's pretty much a drink stream after today. But
dude, we're over 100. It's probably in the area of 140 because I got to 100 and I stopped counting because it's ridiculous.
Mine doesn't even load that far back. Like I got to,
because I can see it in our activity feed. So you guys have been saving up your freaking streamer points because that's a ton of hydrates. We can't do 100 sips though. That's going to be.
So I was going to do the math. If we got 120, you got 1 ounce sips, which is weak, but like I probably do, more than that. But say you got that 12 per beer. That's 10 beers right there that we just got. So we could get there.
We'll get there when it's time. All right, 250 LCQ coming up. We got to call this race.
The question, have any of you ever raced pro on sim?
You and I?
Wow. Yeah, that's a question from Bubby Short 846.
How long would you say your career span? 11 to 19, 20? I think still going?
Honestly, late 11 to maybe early 12. 12 was really like 11. I raced a couple East rounds. I was on keyboard and like a laptop.
Late 11 to early 12 is how long your career
like when I started. So I think I had a national number for 4 years. I went from 729, 18, 30, 44, 85.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, so whatever that is, other than that, if I didn't get points, I sucked. So about 4.5 years, won Southwick, 2013
Yeah.
overall.
Same for me, but I did not win Southwick. All right,
You-
250 LCQ off and
Butts
running. We
Creek.
taking a look at Talon Zollers. He went deep into turn number
Deep,
1.
deep, deep.
And handed it over to Jack Mark. We got guys coming back from off track. Cross jump Carls. Johan Bordeaux takes over the race lead. Ooh, sneaky inside move. Max Chwalik into the 2 spot. Jack Mark, Talon Zollers rounding out our transfer spots early. Zollers going to go up the inside of Jack Mark. And here comes Aaron Rockefeller on the 88 as going OTB for the death is, I don't even know, Bordeaux, who was in the lead, and he just nose dove into the whoops, basically just face planted in. So Chwalik goes to the race lead. We're off and running, and this LCQ is going to be heat, A-Wood.
Yeah, we got a banger night lined up here. Chwalik with a early to the lead. If you come across half a lap in across the finish line in first in LCQ, that's exactly where you want to be. Sometimes the whole shot's not exactly what you want to get because pressure gets to you. You're kind of sending it out there, but Chwalik is someone that I really expected to see in the main event. He was a name that I was kind of had my eye on in qualifying as a guy that could be fighting for this championship. So going to be interesting to see how he can do as far as holding on to this and putting himself in the main. Zoller's right here in second. He's leading this pack right now, going over the finish line with Jack Mark, who was in a transfer spot, lost it, and Rockefeller was down early in his heat race and never really had a chance. He was way, way, way back, but he is now holding on to the 4th transfer spot and being chased by a Bumblebee.
It's a Bumblebee, all right. Alex Heckman of Heckman Productions SYS Racing is in 5th, trying to close down on this final transfer spot. Heckman, we did not see much in the heat race. Tough one for him. Back in action, trying to go at it in this LCQ, and it is tight in this mix. Rockefeller, I thought, was going to be a little bit short right there. He's trying to make this pass on Jack Mark so he doesn't have to sit on the bubble spot anymore, but man, oh man, these guys are certainly going for it. Heckman's tightening it up, and he makes a pass on Rockefeller, who lays it down. Now, can they get through the whoops? No, Heckman goes down. Rockefeller checks up not to hit him. Absolutely sending it is Bordeaux. He goes down. We got more guys getting slideways in those whoops right now, and yeah, that just ate some people up. So Rockefeller goes out of 4th into 5th, then back to 4th in about 2 turns, and now has a gap to work with.
Yeah, he was probably puckered up a little bit there, losing that transfer spot, but able to kind of get back in there early on. These guys, lap 4, I mean, they hit the finish quick, but man, these short tracks, they do so many laps in these LCQs, and it is absolutely terrifying. Rockefeller off the track, lands off, able to jump back on. He's still got a decent little gap here back to 5th as we see Enzo Buttigny go in nice and just take out Nessie. Everyone's looking for the Loch Ness Monster, and Buttigny found him in that corner, traded some paint with his shrouds. Austin Bear, though, moving on up. He should be in this main event, and he feels like he really threw it away. So, oh, and maybe he just threw it away there as well, going in the sand, just pushes his front. I was going to say he was one of my guys too, looking at qualifying as far as championship contenders. So, bummer for him, but we'll see what can happen. There's still a lot of time, and these guys are getting sketchy.
Oh, Rockefeller was
Look at
down,
that. Rockefeller
and Heckman
down.
hits him, and he goes down. Wilczek was down as well. So Rockefeller picks it up behind Langstrup, who's now up to 6th. Leith Ness, and then Buttigny now up into the 4 ride. So let's reset it here. We got Chwalik still leading. Zoller's still in 2nd on the 42. Jack Mark in 3rd. They've got a big gap now back to Buttigny in 4th. And then Leith Ness of Team Crizzy, #Free Lyle, is trying to close up from the P5 spot. Dude, I don't even know anymore. I
feel like, okay, I was mad about the names like last week, and I still kind of am, but I feel like his name is everyone took like a real name, a real team name, and a real hashtag, and just changed like 1 or 2 letters per word. It was like Keith, I don't know, Keith Best, Team, I don't even know, Free Kyle, something going on.
Free Kyle, yeah.
Team Crizzy, but it's just like, he's got a silly name, but I mean, little Nessie right here. Loch Nessie holding down 5th, but that's not the spot that you want to be in.
No, he's trying to close this gap back down to Buttigny.
I like scrubbing the rhythm sections, though.
He is going to have 2 laps to go this next time by because time had not expired as the leaders just checked in out front again. We're just kind of watching Leith Ness go to work right here. Not really much happening. Still 3 seconds back. Lap times at a 47.7 for Buttigny, 48.1 for Leith Ness, so not even gaining time. We got to have something happen here. We got 2 laps to go in this LCQ, and nothing is going on.
Nothing. Chwalik out front, Jack Mark with the fakest name ever, and Butigny just holding down 4th place. Doesn't know what a caps or shift key is. Just types his name like a 12-year-old girl. But you know, I mean, it works. It gets him in the main event.
Dude, you're going in heavy on people tonight. You're calling out gear. You're calling out
I'm just in
people
a good
typing.
mood.
Oh man.
There's always those young girls like they have their auto capitalization turned off, and like they don't use periods, and
Oh man.
it's just, you know,
It's
trendy.
It is a teenage move for sure.
It is. My niece's friends, they do that. So
She's G's in chat wants to know, well, show us Owen. Where's Owen? Owen 2 because he's not making the main event tonight. Where the heck is Owen? I don't even see him. Is he out there? No, Owen Hillman is in the grandstands, folks. So we showed him for absolutely nothing, as She's Cheese wanted him so bad. All right, back to the leader, Max Chwalik here. A couple turns to go. 3.2 second lead over Zollers. Jack Mark, Butigny keeping it tidy. So Leithness is sending, and Leithness is sending himself back to the semi with that run through the rhythm section right there. Chwalik is going to bring it down, and the 250 last chance qualifier in Detroit goes to Max Chwalik on the TSCZ Productions number 34. Upside down and into the main event he goes. Zollers second. Butigny gets to third as Jack Mark laid it down in the last turn, but Mark still makes it in. Leithness misses out, as does Langstrup, Bordeaux, Bear, McPherson, Betts, who is Lag City right there. Wilczek, Matt Cromie not going to the main event tonight. Jason Stubbs, Joey Carter, Rockefeller, McDonald, Caudill, Chowsey, Boardman, Heckman, Canal, Hillman, Doyle. What the heck is going on with your guy, the Chrome Dog, right here? Because he was so good early in the season, and now he just missed the main event with an 11th place finish in an LCQ.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the dedication's not there. You know, he's probably been, I don't know. I don't know if he's still in college partying too much. He's golfing too much. He's just not focused. You know, some of these guys kind of lose it, and I feel like the biggest thing is he probably wasn't racing a lot and trying to come in and just kind of show up like he does year after year. And some guys, sometimes they have more prep, but I mean, if I wasn't doing these streams, I know I would not play this game for 9 months, and then the season would start up, and I would be like, oh, let me, play for 2 hours and try to get up in here and, make some races. So some of these guys are just showing up to have fun. It's just something to do on a Wednesday night. And they, once were at the top of the field, but you can't really just show up without a lot of practice. So I feel like that's where some of these guys are, that we kind of see the names we recognize and know, but maybe they just haven't put the time in. So it's just something that kind of feel like happens as you start to phase out of your sim career.
Oh man,
he did run a 45, which is nuts. Someone said that's like probably faster than qualifying. So who knows what he's doing?
I don't know, man. Cromie is an enigma. Always has been, always will be. I mean, last year he kind of competed for the title, and that was, he competed for the 2013 250 East title as well. So
yeah, something deep in there, and then got banned a little bit. Had a little Cromie chaos. Who knows? That might have been Detroit, Indy. It was one of these rounds. Cromie chaos was a good time in my life.
Oh boy. Yeah,
the good old days.
Last chance qualifier coming up. Hey man, we got some big names in this one who did not make it out of those heat races.
Big names.
Even
the 250 class. I mean, not just Cromie.
Yeah.
There were so many guys back there that just had off nights. Rockefeller, Chelsea, just guys that you feel like, they might not be top 5 guys, but they're consistently in main events, and showing up to round 1, not showing up. It is a bummer when you just, a little bit off or have a bad night. So hopefully those guys can regroup and come back and get back on it on their second round of East Coast, but they're going to have a week off and some time to kind of get back in the flow of things.
Indeed. We're going to see
the
450 class tonight.
You need a job? Going on Indeed, trying to find a job?
Ooh, okay, all right.
Okay.
All right. We have got the 450 last chance qualifiers, riders loaded into the server, loaded onto the gate here in just a minute. Let's run you through them, shall we, and see who is lining up in this 450 last chance qualifier. Go back to our 22nd place rider. It is myself, Caleb Hall, Dominic Tiberino, Caden Speck, Evan Holt, Frank Jackson, Blake O'Brien, Braden Tharp, Casey Cochran, Thomas Sunis, Marchini, Larson, Rzaka, Cote, Bindis, Heilman, Stevenson, Hubbard, Vial, Turley, Vial again, Holiak, Smith going to the gate here tonight. Definitely a large handful of guys that would be very disappointed to not make the main event. As we usually see in this 450 class, though, this is how it usually goes.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I am just selfishly rooting for Jacob Hubbard to transfer through because who else am I going to pick for my whole shot pick tonight in the 450 class? Jacob Hubbard. And he basically got the whole shot in the first, in the heat that he was in as well. Just had some mistakes, so got to kind of button that up, and we'll see what happens here with these guys. A lot of sad guys are going to be missing this main event here 5 rounds in that probably have not missed one yet.
All right, so Hubbard finished, I think, 16th or so in his heat race, maybe 17th. Probably an outside gate pick. Does he still whole shot?
No.
Oh, doesn't whole shot in the LCQ.
You know, in the LCQ, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
I was thinking if he made it in. I actually do think this is a potentially hole shotable, very fair, because it's just a left-hand 90 for a guy. Chase B on the very outside, though, it looks like he's pointing not at all.
Well, Hubbard got a favorable gate pick. He might be far inside, actually, now that I see it. Here we go. We're off and running in the 450 LCQ. Down the inside.
Look at Smith, though.
Not a good start for a couple guys back there. Jeremy Smith, I think, got to the corner first. Noah Bindis comes out with the lead. We got Hubbard with a good start. He's in third. That's Heilman there in the 2 spot. Jeremy Smith will rep his number in 4th place on this opening lap as he and Hubbard just absolutely going at it. But it's Bindis leading in the whoops, and Hubbard's down out of the 3 spot on the 78.
Yeah, Hubbard down early. Not a good start for him after not getting any whole shot this one. But up front early, Heilman, though, chasing, still potentially does have the lit kit. I still actually really like that. But Bindis, Temecula Motorsports, must be a local, out front early and trying to lead this pack through. We see some more riders going down and a big freight train behind him. So this is going to be a lot of pressure. You're going to have so many fast guys coming up and trying to take these spots from you. Bindis is going to need to stay strong early on because there is a train behind him and they're coming through, try to take it away. This is a long LCQ too.
Yeah, this is a gnarly train behind him. You got Heilman, Smith, and then Vial in transfer spots. Then you got B. Lars, Caden Speck, Caleb Hall. A little bit of a gap to Rzaka, Marchini, Blakely, Hubbard. And Hubbard has Turley jumping off the track, Evan Holt also back here. So this is going to be interesting to see if some of these top guys can even make it up to this group, because this one right here in this battle for 4th place right now is heavy with guys that Pablo Vial won the 2nd round of the year, and he's in a bubble spot right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see kind of not a fall from grace, but it's like you're winning races to them missing out on main events, and we have seen that in season with championships and championship contenders before. Just shows you how hard it is to play this game and be consistent, getting off the start, with all the riders around you, and just having to have everything go your way just makes it more impressive for these champions and people that are able to win and get good starts every week. Vial trying to hold on, though. He's holding on, but there are 3 guys very close to him that want to make a move on him, so he's got to try to make a move on Jeremy Smith here very soon.
Yeah, he's got all kinds of pressure from Caden Speck, who it looks like he's been trying to line up something here for a couple turns and just hasn't gotten quite close enough. Missed the first rhythm section. Vial gives a little nose to Jeremy Smith, and we got, oh my gosh, a cross jump there from Caden Speck.
Is that Freddie Norton?
Front wheel. It's Freddie Norton. Oh, and then Speck gets into the back of him. Oh, and gets ran over by Castellaneta, I think that was, who went down, or was it for Rzaka maybe? No, it was Larson. Sorry, Larson on the Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM. Jeremy Smith getting crossed up once again by Caden Speck. That's 2 times now. 3rd time's a charm before you get absolutely punteroned over the berm for sure. As Bindis leads, you got Heilman 2nd, Vial 3rd, and Speck now is in the bubble position in 4th, but Jeremy Smith wants a piece of that. He's trying to go after the 47.
For sure, yeah. Caden Speck able to capitalize on all those other mistakes from these guys. Actually, he's made mistakes, but looks like he just doesn't have the speed. Look at that, missing a big rhythm, and that's easily going to let by Jeremy Smith into that transfer spot. Caden Speck actually just seems a little bit off here, but just maybe getting lucky by the guys following all kind of around him. Jeremy Smith, though, trying to block him off, but still letting him get a little nose in there, and we'll see. It looks like Speck is faster on this side of the track, and he is sending it.
Oh, and he lays into JS4 and takes him out heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gets the karma, gets cleaned out. instantly after that.
We just witnessed a murder.
Yeah, very early, I feel like, for that aggressive of a move in an LCQ, but that was nuts. So Bendis still leads from Heilman. Now Marchini into third. Vial has made it back into fourth. Hubbard is now in fifth, trying to close up on the bubble spot, as these guys are still trying to jockey for these positions, trying to get it all dialed in and figure it out. But Hubbard has his eyes solely set on the 30 machine ahead of him right now.
Yeah, Vial sending it right now, looking good so far. These guys, these 450 guys, we've seen a lot of mistakes so far in this LCQ, but that's not really what we kind of know this class for. I feel like it's normally like the veterans, they make a lot of less mistakes. They got a little bit more power too, so easier to kind of get around the track. But this has been a very up and down LCQ so far. But Vial right now he's the one under pressure, and he's going to kind of start to notice that as he gets through. And Heilman is down with a lapper.
Yeah. Oh. Hubbard gets his front end cleaned out a little bit right there. Here comes Caleb Hall on the 16 side by side. Cases the finish line jump. Gets passed by Kevin Frazaka. Jeremy Smith also getting back into the picture as well. So Hubbard's still fifth. They're trying to close up to Heilman now, who is on the bubble spot. Vial sneaking away a little bit. Marchini in second. Bendis is gone with the lead. This is all back here and what's going on with the fourth spot with John Heilman. Look at that. Hubbard has Frazaka really pushing him now, trying to get up into this battle. Time has expired, so white flag coming out next time by. It is go time. Try to make the main event here tonight in Detroit. If you're Jacob Hubbard, Kevin Frazaka, Jeremy Smith, you're looking on the outside right now, trying to get up to this transfer spot on this final lap.
Yeah, these guys are 5th and 6th right now. Heilman had that mistake right there 1 lap ago, and now he's got 1 lap to hold on to it. Those guys behind him, they need to push as much as they can, but Frazaka needs to know not to kind of get into anything. Before you get to the transfer spot, don't want to get any mistakes. We see making some moves right there, maybe a little bit early trying to push, but there's not too many rhythm sections left as Hubbard kind of pushes on the inside, loses a little bit of spot to Frazaka. Now cases that up. These guys are very close, but they're close to each other, but not super close to Heilman. So going to be interesting to see what happens. Heilman blows it.
He cased it, and that's going to allow Hubbard through as we jump up ahead there for a moment. Hubbard into fourth. Now Frazaka is trying to charge. He goes a little bit long, doesn't quite get the triple clean.
He's going to send it.
Bendis takes the win. Into the whoops we go. Hubbard is bouncing through them, but he gets through clean this time. Frazaka is going for it. Final turn. Frazaka got so close, but it's going to be Hubbard by an inch.
Wow.
1/10 of a second at the flag over Frazaka. JS4 comes across with a 1.3 deficit to them. Caden Speck also missed it. Heilman went down in the last corner. Paul Turley. B-Lars is down with Stevenson in the last turn. Evan Holt and Casey Cochran going home early here tonight. Chase Blakely, Frank Jackson, Holiak, O'Brien, Cote, Tharp, Tomasunas, Tiberino did not make it either, but we're waiting for those penalties to see whether or not Hubbard or Frazaka get this final transfer spot. And we got one more rider still going through the whoops right now, so we're going to have to wait for just a minute.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what happens with cuts here. It's always cool to see it go down towards the end and stays the same. He actually loses some time there, doesn't he? Frazaka does lose like 2/10. He was, or 1/10. He loses a couple hundreds? Yeah, so 600ths to Hubbard there.
All right, now the real question is, Hubbard has 22nd gate pick. Are you still picking him for your whole shot award?
I mean, I feel like he could. Okay. If it's just like you know what he could do if he really wanted to? He could whole shot, but then he would send it into the stadium. So, but if he wants the whole shot and stay on the track, we'll have to see what happens here. I really don't think he's going to be my pick this week.
All right.
I would like to keep him. I'm proud that he made it in the main event, but if he does whole shot, I'm going to look dumb.
Yeah. Did you finish your beer already, or you still got some?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, he's done. All right.
I got a sip.
Since you guys did so many hydrates, I'm going to try to finish this off right now. We got like half left, but cheers, Awood.
Cheers.
Refreshing. Woo!
Just love some water. Ambrosia.
All right. That was fun. Now we got some 250 main event action coming up. First round of East. Now that we've seen the heat races, we've seen the LCQs. You got a pick yet? I don't know. This is pretty wide open, I feel like.
Yeah, I honestly feel like there was 6 to 8 names transferring through in each heat that I was like, oh yeah, that's a guy that I could see on the podium. And maybe it's just that some of these guys have been around longer. Maybe less people are moving up, and we're starting to get some more consistent guys in the 250 class as well as new fast names. But I mean, car fastest qualifier, I feel like it's hard to, one is heat race. It's going to be hard to kind of go against that. But I'm actually just stoked for some good racing. And I do hope that maybe he doesn't win. It gets mixed up a little bit, and we do see some different faces in here and actually get. Not that I don't want Carr to win, but I want to see this series last longer than the West Coast and the 450 kind of championship seem to have started off here.
All right, fair enough. Definitely a mixed bag in this 250 East division to start off tonight. It didn't seem like Rasmus Balzer of last year was really showing up here tonight yet either. Like heat race was a little up and down for him, and the speed has not been there because he did not qualify fastest. So yeah, man, I don't know. This is maybe as wide open as I've seen the 250 East in a while. I feel like we normally get a clear picture of who's fast West 450s going into East, so we kind of know. But we haven't really got any of that this year, so I don't even know, man.
Yeah, I can't tell you one name on the gate that's raced a 450 race, or unless they haven't been making mains or just have kind of been way outside. But I honestly, looking at the class, I don't see anyone that really was racing West on the 450s trying to prepare. Maybe they were all just kind of focused on 250s. So I feel like it's kind of up in the air. We don't really know a lot, and I think that's going to make it a lot more fun tonight, though.
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun one. Let's go ahead, Awood. It is time to pick the Design Lab Co. whole shot winners here tonight. Head over to thedesignlabco.com and check out some sick graphics by Nick Porter, former pro racer in MX Simulator. We got Zollers, Carr, Viney, Hollenbeck, Mark, Ewan, Partillo, Chwalik, Ortiz, Schiavro, Garrett, Matherly, Butigny, Gummison, Cooper, Balzer, Crotty, Vanderbeek, McIntosh, Quino, Padani, Mills. Give me a whole shot winner.
Not him. Change gear too. I like it, but not as good as it was.
I'm jumping in and saying Johnny Padani, who's my pick, by the way.
I was kind of thinking him, McIntosh. I'm gonna go scroll through one more time real quick. Crotty.
Crotty? That's a good one. Crotty's a good starter. So
yeah.
I've got Padani, you've got Crotty for the Design Lab Co. whole shot. We're about to find out, folks. Get ready. It is time for the first 250 East race of 2024. Strap in, folks. 15 minutes plus a lap is ready to go here in Detroit. Who's going to get the all-important whole shot? Who is going to leave here as the points leader? Here we go. 30 card sideways. Revs are up. Gate is down. Let's go racing in Detroit. Who's going to get to the inside line? Oh, it's a land race. A couple guys got together, and coming out with the whole shot is Austin Partillo. He did it in his heat race.
Wow.
He's done it in the main event. He picks up the Design Lab Co. whole shot.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why we kind of overlooked him, but man, that's another great start by him, putting the 52 out front. And just like that, third place going down right there. So we got Johnny Padani right in second. Was that Balzer that went? No, Balzer took over.
Down. Yeah, and Balzer is up in the 3 spot early on. So it was Squiddy, I think, that hit the deck on the 61, but it's Partillo. Padani, our 2 heat winners, come out on the smooth side of it out of this one, and Balzer's right where he wants to be with a good start in this main event, as the heat race winners are already starting to battle it out. Partillo into the tough blocks, and Padani already trying to figure out a line down the inside to go for the pass. We're off and running. 1 full lap complete here in Detroit, and this is going to be good, folks. Who is going to come out of this one with the early advantage and try to sneak away and maybe win this thing, as we got different rhythm options down the inside. Padani maybe thought of it, didn't get quite close enough. You also got Jeff Cooper on the 117 with a good start here, as jumping through the whoops right there. Partillo losing a little bit of ground and causing a bit of an accordion effect behind him.
Yeah, these guys are definitely starting to kind of scrunch up here. Maybe doing a little bunching technique a little early on. Not what you want to do by yourself, but Partillo has Padani right on his tail, and Balzer doing the quad out right there. That's going to allow him to easily go around the outside into the second place position early on. Padani, though, does have pressure up his inside right here. Not able to make the triple out, so he will hold on to third for just a little bit while longer. But Balzer now setting his sights towards the front of the field and trying to make this move early and show us that red number 1 plate belongs up front.
Dude, we coming into this main event, talked about Rasmus Balzer and would he be as good as we saw in 2023? Well, he looks exactly the part of what we saw last year, which is he didn't always hole shot, but man, was he good at getting through the pack and getting in a position where he could battle for the win. And that's exactly where he is early in the main event here in Detroit. Right behind Partolo onto lap 4. Quads down the inside. Is he going to go for it? No. Backs out of the challenge, and Partolo hangs on into the Supercross triple.
Yeah, no, he does not. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it took him maybe 2 or 3 rounds before he did get his first win last year, and then just started to kind of get into his own. I'm talking about Balzer here as far as his consistency, and then just today starting off maybe not being fastest qualifier, not being blazing fast in his heat race. I feel like I kind of undersold him, and now moving into this main event here, he's early on challenging for the lead. He's got good speed, does get some kicks there, but able to hold it together. He has to go outside, does not lose a spot, but just a little bit of time to Padani, and we'll see if he can regroup here and remount a charge up towards that first place position. But this top 3 here, nothing more you could want 5 laps into a main event. These all in the air on the same jump.
Yeah, what a great fight this is. Partolo, Balzer, Padani, 1, 2, 3, battling it out here in Detroit. 3 minutes in, we still got 12 minutes plus a lap of this main event to go. The lap times are going to come and go quickly here as we're already on the 5th lap of the race. Balls are getting a little bit closer, maybe starting to feel a little bit iffy about holding on behind here with Partolo leading this thing and Padani starting to creep into the picture. Seems like Balzer is ready to go to the lead because he has gotten a little bit feistier in these last few corners.
Yeah, he does. We'll see how he gets to the whoops here. Gets through cleanly right there, but Padani is on his tail, and Balzer's making small little mistakes, and Padani has a lot of speed. He's looking pretty feisty trying to get back up. So I honestly think Balzer needs to shake Padani on his rear wheel before he focuses on moving up into the lead.
Yeah, you're right. As quickly as I said, he looked like he was focusing on Partolo. Now Padani is starting to put the pressure on the one machine instead. And so this is an interesting dynamic if you're the defending champ right here. You want to attack, but you also do not want to open yourself up to an opportunity to get past and lose this second position. Partolo is doing a terrific job out front, though, at managing this pressure. It is so hard to lead when you got a guy this close to you for this long, and Partolo has no problem with it so far as we're approaching the first third of this main event. Balzer wants the lead, though, down the inside at the end of the whoops. Not quite close enough. Partolo continues to hold on.
Yeah, these guys are yo-yoing around the track, and as we keep an eye on this race, I'm just looking at the top of the screen. Butigny 10, 11, Crotty 11th, McIntosh 13th, but oh my gosh, and there's the quad up the inside, and Balzer is able to slam the door on Partolo and get himself to the lead. But basically, if you guys keep an eye on the top of the screen, you'll see a lot of guys that I was looking for to get wins and podiums that are nowhere near close. And this pack right here, Balzer, Padani, and Partolo are showing us that they're trying to put themselves and cement them in here as part of guys going for the championship fight, and Partolo's not giving up early.
Yeah, we saw Matherly absolutely buried in 17th. That's a tough break for the 25 machine as Balzer now gets the hops through the whoops a little bit right there, and Partolo starting to get back up behind him. He actually almost got a run on him out of the sand right there. Slipped the rear tire a little bit, and now here comes Padani trying to close that gap down to the inside. Not quite close enough. Little bit of breathing room now for the one machine out front. Oh, but he goes down, and so too does Partolo out of second place. So first and second crash in the same corner. And wow, look at how far Balzer went off the track. He's way over the berm through the Steve Mathis Memorial nets and gets going in the 5 spot. How quickly things can change.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. It looks like they both framed the quad out. Balzer just got the worst of it. Actually, probably framed it a little bit better. Didn't fall off instantly and cartwheeled. Probably rode his nose, cartwheeled through the Doblos bales into the Steve Mathis Memorial nets. And look at that. He lost so much time having to start back up there. He is now back in 5th. Partolo able to get up at least in 3rd place right now. But man, these guys lost so much time. If we look on or at where the leaders are, as Balzer is trying to move back quickly, Padani is all the way up front. He's going on, entering the start straight. Cooper right there behind him. Wow, I'm all messed up. Sorry, Partolo, Hollenbeck, and now Balzer. Look how far away they are from the lead, though. Doolies. Hollenbeck, though, hailing from San Diego.
All right, there we go. Getting passed up for 4th right now, though. Still holding on to his solid top 5 efforts. And now Balzer has to put his head back down after coughing up the lead. Certainly looks like that step off of the triple on into that rhythm section after the finish line is getting tough for these 250 guys, man. They just can't quite get over that real big single in the middle of that rhythm section. I think that's probably what bit Balzer right there. Just couldn't get all the way over the quad. Oh, Partillo short on the finish line jump as Jeff Cooper lays it down right in front of him. And our leader, Padani, is still just putting in the laps out front, man. Talked about it in his heat race. Consistency killed him in the past few years. The speed was never the problem, as Padani always knows how to get around these racetracks really well. It's about putting a whole main event together as he cases that triple out right there. And, man, he's going to hit some lap traffic hell here in a little bit. There are so many lappers in the whoops ahead of him, and he is about to catch that group in the next couple of laps. That's going to be tough for Padani to try to deal with. As our battle for second continues, Jeff Cooper and Austin Partillo still going at it.
Yeah, those lappers will come into the scene here probably in another lap, and just like that, Partillo up the inside as Cooper makes a small mistake. I was going to say great by Cooper. He's just kind of right place, right time, good start, and was kind of like silently back there, moved his way up, but loses one spot. But man, he could still hold on to that here.
Whoa.
We are only 8 minutes into the main as a lapper getting up almost gets in the Partillo's way. It gets cleaned out perfectly as he's entering into that corner there, and doesn't really affect him at all. So this second and third place battle still going down pretty good. Partillo trying to get it back together and see if he can mount a charge back towards the leader, but Padani now almost one full rhythm section ahead. He is starting to get into, we see him just past 2 or 3 lappers there, has another 4 or 5 coming up, and seeing more of them down like that is probably the best thing that can happen to him, passing them on the ground while they're not moving.
Yeah, look at Partillo now. He's going to get stuck behind these guys. That's Hewen, and trying to get a number on the guy just ahead of that. Don't quite see who it is just yet, but yeah, these guys, they're trying to be courteous and get out of the way, but they too are also in a battle. Look at that. They both went down right there in a bit of a battle with each other. So 5.8 seconds. Padani hit the lappers first and ended up losing a couple seconds because of it. That gap came down just a little bit, and there's still quite a hefty handful of lappers he's going to hit ahead of him. I mean, there's maybe 10 riders in the whoops and the next corner after that are ahead of Padani that he still has to go by. And we'll see how he navigates that situation. Partillo, Jeff Cooper loses the 3 spot. Yes, because up the inside goes Rasmus Balzer on the 1.
Ooh.
And Cooper immediately lays it down behind him. Very fortunate not to fall off the bike, at least not yet. But he will hold on to the 4th position as Hollenbeck was a little ways back. Man, the lead groups are really
so
spread
far
out.
I think a lot can happen on these short tracks. You know, they're running 45, 46 second lap time. So any little mistake, you know, you get a bad start, you tip over, then you go down once, and you're already kind of in jeopardy of being lapped by these guys. So it's very hard. There's 22 guys circulating a track that's 46 seconds long, as we see Padani jumping up right there, making a little pass on a lapper, trying to get himself by. But there's so many lappers all the time, and it feels like once you get lapped, I feel like you can't race. So many of these guys that are back, you know, 10th place back, they can't really race on their own, and they just have to kind of keep out of the way for lappers. So I do feel like we're going to see a huge gap once we get through our first 4, 5, 6 guys. It'll start to break up, and you'll see guys, they'll probably be lapping up to 5th or 6th place in this race.
Yeah, Partillo is now starting to deal with some of that lap traffic as well, and Balzer is tightening up on him because of it. 5.1 seconds now, the gap 46.9 versus a 48.1. So Padani seemed to be pretty negatively affected the lap before this, but now the one that he's on, able to get away just a little bit more from what Partillo had got that gap down to. Padani still has lappers on him, by the way. I mean, they're just fighting tooth and nail with each other. I think that was Gummison getting cleaned out by Schiabro in the background there for 15th spot. Partillo hopping a little bit right there. Got to be careful. Keep it on 2 wheels. We are 4 minutes and a lap away from this checkered flag waving, and this is anything but over as Padani continues to try to put the laps in out front.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing great, but it's weird. We were talking about speed and maybe not having consistency. When we went on board there, I saw his best lap time was a 47, and he's ran a 48 the lap time before. Meanwhile, the guys chasing him were running best lap times and consistent lap times in the 46s. So it's really just his consistency that he's really nailed down here. And his speed isn't really blazing speed, but get a good start and ride consistent, clean laps, and that'll be good enough for a win most of the time. So really impressive by Johnny Padani to kind of bring it out here tonight in the debut of this 250 East class and kind of show these guys what's up and where some of the guys are really missing the mark. So impressive by him, and we're going to have to see where everything kind of shakes up. We still have about 3 minutes plus a lap to go. So Padani just trying to hold on. He's looking smooth and not really having trouble with any of the rhythms that some of the other people look to be struggling with consistently.
Yeah, battle for second is going to be on now because Parlo just blew the rhythm in the background. And here comes the one of Rasmus Balzer closing up into that 2 spot. Parlo a little short on that triple. Balzer is right there. We got a lapped rider right behind them. That's a field ski and snowboard rider. Don't know the number of that. I think it's maybe Enzo Boutigny as he barrel rolls and lands it, but gets out of the way right there. So Balzer made a small mistake. That cost him some time. Parlo gets a little bit more breathing room. Still about 4.5 seconds now, almost 5 seconds to Padani. Like you said, man, 47s, 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 another 47.8 for him. Let's see what Parlo runs, 48.6. So yeah, lost some time that last time by just because the consistency is a little bit off. Parlo's speed is great, but can't put it together for consistent laps, and that's starting to hurt him as Padani is going to get into some lapped riders here in a little bit. They're going to move aside. I think that's D-Mills getting out of the way very nicely. And Padani is very, very thankful that that is happening. I thought he was going to be a little bit short right there, but A-okay. Continuing on, man, Parlo just can't really inch close enough. 4.4, 4.3. Gap is kind of coming down.
Another mistake by him, though. So that could be another 48 by him. You know, if he was going to drop a 46 or a low 47, you know, maybe that little mistake or another one around the track is going to not let his lap time. So he does run a 47 there. Oh my God.
Padani just missed a finish line jump, and suddenly we got a battle for the lead. I don't know if he got together there with Jack Mark, but here we go. Parlo down the inside, quads into the race lead in Detroit. How quickly things have changed here with only a few laps to go, and the 52 machine is back in the race lead.
Yeah, just a bummer there, right? For Padani, must have gotten into it with the lapper or something that had him. They were both rolling the finish line, so who knows what went down. He was about 5 or 6 seconds back, and Parlo has been kind of yo-yoing back and forth, making mistakes and showing good speed, but he is now able to get to the lead by himself with just a minute plus a lap to go. But look at this, going
my goodness,
all over the place, cattywampus as you can be in the whoops without going down. That's going to bring him across the line, and that's going to be a very close, depending on what lap time they run, if they come back. They were at 4:14, so if they run a 46, they could make
Lappers, oh my goodness,
just
almost
before
jumped
it
in front of Parlo's way there, and Padani's still hanging on tight in the background. They're now up into the top 10 of lappers, I believe, as they got Jack Mark. So this is unbelievable. Battle for second, heavy right there. Padani had Balzer show him a nose down the inside, but Balzer could not quite make the pass stick. Lap rider down right in front of him. That was tight. Could have gotten a lot worse. This is going to be really close on whether we're getting the white flag or not as Parlo hits the whoops. It is going to be 5 seconds left on the clock. 3, 2, 1, time. They did not get the white flag.
Oh my
it is
gosh.
2 laps to go. Johnny Padani and Balzer have 2 laps to try to make it work to get to Austin Parlo. Meanwhile, he's trying to hold on for the win as he almost goes through the front door on the quad, and he's trying to get around a few more lappers up ahead of him. Trying to think. I think this is maybe Vanderbeek, or is it D-Mills again? No, it's D-Mills again. So Daniel Mills now getting 2 laps down for D-Mills. Parlo's trying to get by him, and then he has a little bit of clear space. D-Mills down in front of him, and Parlo gets stuck behind him. Oh my goodness, Padani had to cut underneath. Balzer's going to try to pull up alongside into this corner, doubles in, doesn't get close enough, and 3 riders on your screen together coming to the white flag this time by. Parlo just begging to get through the whoops every single lap.
Oh my God, look at him sending
sideways over the finish line jump. White flag is waving. Here we go, folks.
Wow, what a masterclass of a call by you, Kellen. Take a breath and get ready for this to come down to the wire, because I'm sure it will. Parlo making a small mistake. Look at that.
Look
3 wide dualies over the triple, coming to the line just like that. Parlo is losing the spot. Balzer is now chasing Padani, and Padani in the lead. This is the closest these two have been
Balzer
all
makes
race.
A mistake. Padani doesn't get the rhythm. Parlo's
No one
going to be able to take
it.
advantage. Look at, he's tripling in
Parlo's
behind
back.
him. And Padani slides out of the lead. Balzer is in the lead with 2 turns to go. Parlo is going to try to send it into the whoops on this final lap. He gets on top of him clean. Balzer gets through it really well. To the inside, final turn. Rasmus Balzer wins tonight in Detroit and keeps the red plate on his number 1 machine. It's second for Parlo and third for Padani. Each of them were in the lead on the last lap at a certain point, but it goes to the one.
Wow. Absolutely amazing, Kellen. That's why they pay you the big bucks. The way that you are able to call that action right there, that's what we all want to see in the booth, as we talked about that earlier. Balzer just sat back there in third place, wasn't able to get anything to happen. He's got the number 1 on his plate for a reason, though, able to put himself in the right place, the right time. Everyone else made mistakes, and look at that. He comes through on top and takes it when it really matters. Austin Partolo with a second place finish. His best finish has been 18th before, someone in chat said. So that's absolutely crazy to see him come out so strong in this East Coast class. And just kind of heartbreak too for Padani, who led so many laps throughout the races tonight, ends up in third. But look at that gap, 25 seconds back to fourth place. But man, wow. Balzer with an amazing ride. These two just absolutely sending it, lapped up to ninth place. Yep. And everyone else right there, yeah, it's almost like you can't really race. They start lapping you all, and man, when they're racing that close, that quick, you just got to get out of the way.
So Balzer takes the win, Partolo second, Padani on the box. Seth Carr got all the way back to fourth with a 25-second deficit into the leaders, and Garrett Hollenbeck rounded out the top 5. Boy, you wanted a 250 East kickoff. We got it, A-Wood. That doesn't get much better than that. 3 different leaders on the last lap of the race.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And everyone kind of seemed to have made their mistakes. Even Balzer, who ended up winning, messed up the rhythm section after the start. It's just Padani, it looked like he was coming in good. Just pushed that route a little bit wide, pushed his front end, lost that. The other two were going at it. And man, Balzer able to secure that. That was just such an amazing finish. And I think my favorite part about tonight is the people that I had coming out and leading, finishing on the podium, top 5, are not, maybe one of the top 3 that we saw there. So I really feel like there's some real depth in this class. There's going to be some guys gelling with different tracks as we come through deeper into the series. So it's going to be fun to see if this class has, 7 or 8 guys that can win races and are going to be battling for the lead as we go week in and week out. And I'm really excited for this 250 class.
Yeah, this 250 East Championship kicked off with a bang here tonight in Detroit. Rasmus Balzer takes the win. Austin Partolo second, and Johnny Padani in third. You'll never see 3 different leaders like that on the last lap, especially to kick off a championship. It doesn't get much better than that, folks. And now we get to roll into the big boys. We saw a pretty feisty heat race between Braden Carter and Jeremy Seabolt earlier on. I know Seabolt's well down in the points, second in the standings already, but does seem like Seabolt maybe looks a little bit more ready to contend here tonight in Detroit.
Yeah, I do think Seabolt was kind of matching Carter's pace right there, if not even gaining on him towards the ending laps of that their second 450 heat that they rode. And I do think it's just going to gain a lot of confidence for Seabolt as this night goes on. So I do think this could be maybe a night where the flip could switch and Seabolt kind of coming through and showing that he wants to be part of this championship. Or I do think it could be another nail in the coffin by Braden Carter if Braden Carter comes out and does what he's been used to doing, for the last couple of years in this class. So going to be interesting to see. Leclerc didn't really show up in any races earlier. Can he get a good start and show up? Can Hubbard get a good start from the LCQ and play spoiler? And can Colby Eaglin kind of do like anything? He feels like he's been a little bit absent the last 2 weeks. Maybe just, not able to put the time in, or maybe uncomfortable with some of the tracks. But we're looking at Leclerc right here. And yeah, he's always a fun guy to kind of get up and get in the mix.
All right, Awood, I need you to the Design Lab whole shot winner tonight. Are you picking Hubbard from gate 22, or are we going different?
I can't do it. I think I might go, and I do think this is going to be because of a lack of carrying maybe for the championship. Okay. I think Jack Haley.
All right, okay. I'm going to go from the heat race as well because it looked so good. I'm going Luke Magnetti. First time we've seen him all year on the 219. So you got Haley on the 212. I've got Magnetti on the 219. And this is going to be a good one, folks. 20 minutes plus a lap here in Detroit for round 5 of MotoOption Supercross here in MX Simulator. Will Carter continue to pull the gap away and keep those red plates looking fancier and fresh every single week? We know he's going to be the points leader after this round, but I do not know whether or not he is going to be. Are these cold?
Just
Oh my goodness.
enough.
No, I didn't. Oh, you're the best, babe. You're the best. All right, well,
Thank
quickly,
you.
A-Wood on stream. We got freshies, folks. Main event time. My lovely wife is the best. And it is time to go racing here in Detroit. Carter, Leclerc, Siebel. Names continue to go on, but
Sullivan, everyone is
yeah.
just, oh, they won a race before. Oh, they've gotten the podium. Oh, they're a championship winner.
Dude,
It's kind of nuts.
it is
Except,
like,
and then you get to Bendis. It's just like,
easy. You don't gotta go in on Noah like that.
no, has he been? So, okay, so
What
I'm
are we
really
waiting on,
bad
by the
at
way, Marcini, something going on?
recognizing they got mods in the servers now?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Logan not in the script. Okay, so they're just making sure Logan Leitzel gets in. Looks like Shirley and Marcini disconnected, but yeah, just making sure those guys get in by the looks of it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We're chilling.
We're just cruising, chilling. I'm trying to keep up with chat. This is the time that I can actually watch Carter's 4P, if you count 250 chip. Chat is mad that no Twisted Teas. I had a lot of those the other day because it was sunny and warm, and it was very nice, and I was by the pool getting twisted.
Dude, I got roasted for having Twisted Teas on pole.
Dude, they're so good.
They're good, and they also support the damn sport. Like, they pour money into the sport. They have a team. Like, it's like I can have a drink of a. Like, I don't know. It's so
If White
stupid.
Claw sponsored the sport, you would probably see me going around drinking White Claws
yeah.
or something I hate. But no,
Especially-
Twisted
yeah.
Teas are so good, especially when it's hot. If you don't live in a hot climate, you don't really know. But it's not that it was hot, but we had like 4 days where it was like 75 to 78. And I'm just like in a row, I was like, let me hang out by the pool and drink some Twisted Teas. It's like, it's awesome. They're so good.
All right, so we've got Magnetti and Haley for the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot. I think we're just trying to make sure that the let's see if he made it in. I think we are good to go. 450 main is set and ready to go. So here we go, folks. Who's gonna get the whole shot? Round 5 is underway in Detroit. We see Haley up the inside. It's tight. Leclerc is gonna get to the corner first by a nose. T-Lang comes out with the lead. You got the 1, you got the 5, you got the 7, all going into the second corner. Oh, Carter's down
Carter
on the
down,
inside. He
and
got
he's
teed
off
up.
the bike.
And it's Lang leading, getting away from the rest of the field a little bit. Leclerc down the inside tries to make a
Ooh.
pass on Lang, but it is tight. Magnetti is also in there with a good spot. All these guys kind of hopping through the whoops. Nobody got a good run. Magnetti to the far outside. Lang leads lap number 1 in Detroit.
Yeah, Magnetti and Leclerc bouncing all around in the whoops there. Braden Castellaneta bringing up the little caboose of this little train right here. The top 4 are super close. Tyler Lang, though, looking good, but Leclerc moving up the inside again, showing him a wheel, not trying to make a pass. Doolies! That was the best one of the night, at least that I've seen. I missed a couple there. Tyler Lang holding off the pressure. These guys still knowing how to throw it down. Both of these past championships here, now racing in front of a couple guys.
You got
That,
Magnetti, you got Castellaneta.
couple 3
Shirley.
digits, too.
T-Burns is up here. Yeah, this is tight.
250
Look at
champions.
this, Leclerc inside before the whoops on.
Oh, he
gets
sends
into
it too
Lang.
hard.
They
Lang
both
goes
go
down off the bike, though.
Magnetti and Shirley go to the race lead.
Wow.
You got Leclerc picking it up in about 5th spot. And yeah, so it's Magnetti from Shirley, Burns, Leitzel, Leclerc, Castellaneta, Horn, Holm, Hubbard. Oh, Hubbard turning it around from a bad night. Haley wraps up the top 10, who are still nose to tail as Magnetti leads in his first race of the year.
Yeah, Lucky Magnetti coming back. It's just always fun to see. He's repping that 3-digit on his bike, and it's just these guys. You got 1, 5, and 7, and then he's breaking it up. Look at him just absolutely crushing it, getting good starts all throughout the night as well. So whoever's right behind him did miss that rhythm is going to get past Trevor Burns now into second place. Seth Shirley is the one who missed the rhythm on his number 2 bike. He actually missed another rhythm going back to 5th off track, and that's going to allow Leclerc to go by as well as Logan Leitzel.
Yeah,
I
that's
almost
Leitzel
just
on
called
the 3.
Dennis Fjellberg. Shows where my mind's at. Number 3, though, I've got some flashbacks from that number.
I am going to quickly turn off the timer real quick because I apologize. I thought I had updated it. I did not! And I get back just in time as Magnetti goes down from the lead. So Magnetti coughs it up, and your new leader is Trevor Burns. District Designs number 36 out front. He's got Leitzel, Leclerc, Shirley, a bunch of single digits right behind him Well, actually, this is unbelievable to see some of the faces that we haven't seen up front all year long suddenly in the mix. So it's Burns on the 40 from Leitzel on the 3, Leclerc on the 7, Shirley on the 2 with Castellaneta rounding out our top 5. Carter, after going down in the second corners, made it all the way to 6th, and Leitzel just goes down out of 2nd, kind of holds up the field a little bit. Shirley gets back into the 2 spot over Castellaneta, and Burns has a big gap to work with out front now.
Yeah, Burns, huge gap. Our 250 West points leader and past champion, Seth Shirley, now into the 2nd place. We were wondering how he would do coming in to kind of play spoiler in this 450 class. He tosses it right there with 3rd place as well. Castellaneta. So he's actually showing, but look at that right behind him. You've got Alexis Leclerc and you've got Braden Carter from a bad start. Or a good start, but down in the 2nd corner to off the bike all the way back up to 5th, right behind Leclerc. Look at this, triple over. Let's see how these lines kind of come together. He's not going to be able to go up the inside of Leclerc, and Leclerc holds on. But this top 4, or this 2 through 4 pack right here, 2 through 5, sorry, 3rd time's the charm, is super, super close. And Trevor Burns out front trying to pull his little gap away, and he's got a huge freight train behind him, though, of champions. Absolutely scary to have these guys kind of trailing behind you when you're leading a main event, feeling good, trying to get comfortable, and the people are telling you, okay, yeah, it's the number 2, the number 1, the number 7, no big deal. They've all won multiple championships. Just go out there and keep trying to hold on the lead.
Carter with the step on, step off on the inside. We've seen almost nobody do it tonight, and he gets Leclerc for the 4 spot there. So Burnsy still out front to the tune of 3.9 seconds. Leclerc and Carter in a heated battle right now for the 4 spot. Where is Jeremy Seabolt as well on the 10? He's in 8th, so Seabolt not the start he was hoping for tonight. But Carter has got his eyes focused forward. He's trying to close up on Castellaneta and Seth Shirley as they continue to battle it out in 2nd place. And Burns continues to lead this race here on lap number 7.
Yeah, Burns is trying to check out, and I mean, he's doing a great job. Seth Shirley has not been able to kind of close this gap in at all. If anything, it looks like it's getting bigger from last time I marked him. These guys just kind of going around cruising. It is a bummer as we do see Magnetti pulling back up a little bit close. It's a bummer to see, what's his name? Seabolt losing so many spots to Braden Carter here. Sorry, Castellaneta in 3rd. Losing so many spots to Carter because I felt like that was going to be how it flips, Can he beat him today and break down that, or is Carter going to take a commanding lead in the championship? So championship might not be super close.
Is that the leader? That is! Burns is down in the rhythm section and hands it over to Seth Shirley. So it's now Shirley, Castellaneta, Carter, and then Burns gets up right in front of Leclerc. Must have just clipped that on-off just a little bit wrong like we saw a couple guys in the 250 race. And now Seth Shirley, your 250 West points leader, is out front here in the 450 main event in Detroit. And he's quadding again. He's got it clean.
I mean, he's got nothing to lose, too. I feel like you're going to start to see some of this stuff out of Seth Shirley as we continue on with these East Coast races. He's got the speed. He wants to show that I'm going to be up here battling with Braden Carter for championship soon once I'm done with my run in the 250 class. And he can also hit these big lines and just kind of show off and have fun. It's working for him. Almost makes a mistake, blows the rut, able to save it, but commanding lead right now on the number 2. Unable to get caught by Braden Carter. He looks like he might be coming up slowly. But man, this championship might be kind of dust to the wind. But Seth Shirley can make it interesting by coming in. Same with Castellaneta, and we could have some great racing even if the championship isn't closed.
Castellaneta got tight right there because Shirley cased the rhythm section. What happened to the 1? Carter has slipped back to 4th, so he must have gone down. We're seeing a little bit of shuffling behind that. There's some great battling going on back there as the leaders are still going at it. It's Shirley versus Castellaneta here in Detroit. Man, I think a lot of names came up on the list of contenders tonight, but how about this ride for Braden Castellaneta on the 22? Top 10 in points. He's been solid this year, but he's still looking for that elusive first career win, and he's got a golden opportunity right here 7 minutes into this main event.
Yeah, you always hear people kind of talk in real life as I never saw that guy all day, and I feel like that's what Castellaneta has been so far this season. When you're kind of floating between 7th and 13th place, around that area, you're never really you're not getting great starts. You're never really in the conversation up front. And Braden Castellaneta coming out, getting a great start, absolutely ripping through the sand section right there. And what's crazy is Castellaneta, I feel like, has always been, if we're picking a whole shot artist, it's always Jacob Hubbard or Castellaneta, and he's one of those names. So for him to kind of be nowhere for the past 4 rounds, then coming out and showing this, maybe this is the kind of trigger that can change it for him, and he might kind of get settled in and start kind of competing throughout the rest of this 450 championship. Look at this, 46.0 was his best lap, was also his last lap. Seth Shirley going for the quad, but when he misses that, he allows a big gap to come up, and Braden Castellaneta gets on his rear wheel. That's the hard part about going for a big line like that quad, but Seth Shirley might not even want to win this race with his 250, 450 points. Castellaneta hitting the bales. Look at these guys, though, just fighting tooth and nail.
They're getting into lap traffic as well in a hurry, and we saw how much that affected the 250 main event earlier on. So now Shirley and Castellaneta are going to have to deal with this together. Of course, Shirley will hit them first, so this is a tricky situation to navigate, not to allow someone who's right on your heels to get by while you're navigating lappers. Nico Marchini exits stage right there. Castellaneta, a little bit off-centered in that rhythm section, lost a bit of time. But yeah, Shirley doesn't go for the quad this time, almost went through the front door on the triple instead. And next up, I think, is another Phil Ski and Snowboard rider. I'm trying to see who it is up the road. But gap has opened up a little bit. It's the 27 machine of Alec Horn getting out of the way. So Castellaneta also getting by a couple of guys. Leclerc has moved up into 3rd. He's running 46s pretty consistently. Carter right behind him on a 45.5 now. And then Rogers rounds out the top 5 with a good ride here on the 55. You got Luke Sullivan in 6th. 7th for Magnetti as he's trying to battle it out with the 11. And then Seabolt is still sitting 8th just behind these guys with T-Lang and Noah Bindis rounding out the top 10. So I think that Magnetti battle right there, trying to close up on Sullivan, maybe our best one on the track at the moment. They're pretty close to Tanner Rogers too, so that's actually kind of a 3-way fight at the moment for maybe a top 5 spot for any one of these guys. And good to see finally Sullivan, guys like Tanner Rogers as well, really settling into the season. They're top 10 guys on a pretty consistent basis, but now it's really starting to flow their way.
Yeah, I do think you see that early on in the season. You kind of wonder where they're going to be. You're like, that guy got a podium last year, but, he was always 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they start off the season, maybe up top or up front, but then getting 18th. And it's like, when are they going to settle into where they're going to be? And we kind of find out who are going to be the consistent battles that are racing each other all year. And I feel like we are finally starting to see that. Give or take 1 or 2 guys that's having a really bad round, I do think we're starting to see some pretty good separation of where the riders are going to be at and who's going to be battling each other. And that's going to be fun to watch, keep an eye on all year as we do get some point battles, around the 5th, 6th, 7th place position.
Saw that the gap had opened up quite a bit. Shirley now dealing with an 8-second lead as we were watching that battle. Castellaneta has slipped back into the clutches of Alexis Leclerc and Braden Carter. This is Phil's Ski and Snowboard 2, 3, 4 on the racetrack. They're about to lap teammate Adam Holm, I believe that is, on the 17, just ahead of them. So he is going to try to move aside, or maybe he will. There he goes off the outside right there. Nicely done by the 17. But yeah, this is a good fight between teammates and kind of guys that I'm not sure how much they all talk with each other. Carter usually hangs out with Hubbard. I think Leclerc kind of rides alone. Not sure what the deal is with Castellaneta, but lap traffic getting in the way there as Carter makes a mistake trying to get by Ethan Parks. And Castellaneta and Leclerc both get by that grouping of riders right there. Oh my gosh, big crash in the background with some guys. But yeah, this is interesting to see teammates, but the dynamic is not really that they're all maybe talking to each other in this situation from what I hear.
Yeah, it almost feels like this team that Leclerc is just on all of his Bitcoin things. He's telling you what to invest in to make him some money. But it's funny because this Phil's team, I feel like, has grown so big. It's almost become a super team, like a Star Racing. But it's kind of the same as having some guys in California, some guys in Florida. Not everyone's kind of, really good friends and all around. And so maybe if something came down to it, a championship, if they weren't battling, they would kind of help out their teammate. But as far as right now, early on in the series, they just kind of all do their own thing, it feels like, and they're just kind of there for riding the same bikes and gear, and it's not so much as far as being friends and kind of riding and practicing together as you would kind of see in real life.
Yeah, this is a good fight, though. Leclerc is now closed right up onto Castellaneta, and Carter's going with Leclerc as well. Leclerc shows him a nose there, not quite close enough, and the three of them in the air together over this Supercross triple. We have got 7 minutes and a lap left to go. Leclerc peaks far inside, doesn't quite get there. Carter, by the way, has abandoned this on-off route that he passed Leclerc with earlier. Doesn't matter anyways, pulling up alongside the 7 as the 7 goes deep into the corner, cuts back up underneath to get the on-off a little bit cleaner, and Castellaneta makes a mistake. Are they both going to get him? Carter to the outside, Castellaneta defends, and Leclerc moves to second, Castellaneta back to third. Carter inside after the whoops, gets that pass done. A beautiful move by the 1, down into third place, and the battle between the 7 and the 1 continues. Now it's for second.
Yeah, great move, back-to-back corners. Castellaneta protecting to keep Carter off him for 1 second, but look at this, Braden Carter up the inside. He's going to go, not going to show him a wheel, doesn't stand him up. Doolies over the triple. Carter goes for the double-double that we talked about earlier. He was keeping it in his back pocket. First time we've seen it all night, as you mentioned, wondering why no one is doing it. Maybe that's why Braden Carter must have done it in qualifying when he dropped his crazy lap time. Found some of these hot lap times, and look at this, already gave himself a gap right there on one of his really only championship contenders that's left right here. And I mean, look at this lap time is going to be crazy, absolutely destroying. 44.9 to Leclerc's got to be not probably around the 46 or so. I mean, that's just crazy how much he was able to catch and pass him while making his 46. Leclerc goes straight through the bars.
Wow.
OTB steps through.
So Castellaneta was not on them anymore. Castellaneta has lost a ton of time.
Way off the track.
Yeah, and still fourth ahead of Seabolt. So Seabolt's climbed all the way into the top 5 now and is trying to eye up getting up to the 4 spot. I think the real story here is the 1 versus the 2. Shirley continues to lead here as we come up to about the final 5 minutes and a lap left of this race. Lap traffic going to come into play, but Carter is ripping 45.8, 46.8 last time by. There's certainly going to be more than 5 laps of this race left to go, and Shirley's got a 6-second advantage now as Carter makes a small mistake, but Carter was just chewing away that time in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if Carter keeps going for hot laps, you might see small mistakes like we just saw as we went on board, but you could also see him chip away at this lead. Ran a 45.8 his last lap. Seth Shirley's best lap is a 45.3 this whole race, so it's kind of going to be one of those things. He doesn't need to win. He might do it just for fun. See if I can get up there. You got 5 minutes plus a lap left in 6.5 seconds. Can you do it? As a lapper goes up the inside right there, trying to get past. But Braden Carter might be just doing this for sport, but I mean, he's got the championship 28-point lead coming into this. He's going to gain how many on Seabolt and Leclerc from getting this position. So basically, I feel like this is just going to be fun to see how close can Braden Carter get it, and can Seth Shirley hold on and maybe show us what's going to happen next year in the 450 class after he moves up.
Yeah, I feel like Carter's situation right now, like you said, he's got a big enough gap back to Seabolt, which, by the way, Seabolt is on Alexis Leclerc for the 4 spot. Leclerc has coughed up 3rd. That is now Castellaneta's, but Seabolt is right on the 7 machine, trying to move into 4th place and salvage as many points as possible. I know this championship is quite blown open at the moment with Carter's 28-point advantage coming in, but you never know. You just never know when things could go awry for the 1 machine. So if you are Seabolt, you are holding on to every last little bit of hope. Shirley continues to navigate in the lead, which is now to 9.8, and look at that. He just ran his best lap of the race right in the middle of this rundown that he's dealing with Braden Carter. 45.2 on lap 21. Whoa, that's a mistake though for Shirley. Why did he still go for that jump in the tough blocks? That's going to cost him a few seconds right there. But yeah, trying to get through lap traffic now as Carter has got this thing down to 7.5 by the looks of it. Carter ran a 49.2 last time by, so not a good run there. Seabolt did get by Leclerc. He is now into 4th. Wanted to go back and update you guys on this position. And Seabolt now into the 4 spot. Again, limiting the damage as much as possible. I feel like all eyes are on this man right now. Seth Shirley, and going to get around Ethan Parks right here. Parks just jumps right out of the line, and Shirley gives him a little bit of a seat hump right there.
Yeah,
I
I love
just
that.
To say like, hey man,
Thank
thank you
you.
for getting out of the way because I'm coming. But the countdown continues. We've got only 2.5 minutes left, plus a lap in this race. 5.8 seconds is the gap now, and Shirley continues to be the first guy to hit lap traffic, still quadding in and quadding again right there. So
it's probably gotten
busted out the
easier
big lines.
with the
because
way
of
that rut's kind of developed when he has the clear air and knows no one's there. Look at this, getting a little 2 for pass on the lappers, getting by. That is Magnetti,
Yeah,
right there,
Magnetti.
and the purple gear. So Magnetti humping, gonna let him
Magnetti,
by, saying, you go, buddy. You know, keep going. It's awesome for Shirley. I think that 45.2 is one of the statements of kind of Seth Shirley's ride so far. And not only, I mean, he was 6.5 seconds up and hoping that he could last, and then dropping a 45.2 right in front of him is just a cool thing to hang your hat on. You know, you can go and say that you beat the multi-time champion Braden Carter in the main event, which is awesome. And who knows if this is going to be the first time this season as we're on the 450, as he's on the 450. But man, it's awesome to go out and be like, okay, the leader was chasing me and I dropped a heater lap time, you know, better than his best lap in the race as he was chasing me. So that's a pretty good feeling for Seth Shirley. And now he's only got 1.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap.
I need someone in the chat to remind me. I don't think Seth Shirley has a 450 win to his career yet. I know he's raced some 450 races, but I don't think he ever got a dub. So that will be a big breakthrough for the 2 machine to get his first career 450 win. And hey, another thing to talk about with him, Andrew, here as we come down to the final minute of this race. Remember coming into the season, Seth Shirley said, I want to go perfect, and has so far gone 4 for 4 in 250 West, steps up to the 450 class, and look at where he's at as he comes down to what I believe will be 2 laps to go right there.
That is kind of crazy that you just brought that up because I wasn't even thinking that. And in my head, I was like, did he go perfect in all 4? You know, I know his points lead definitely looks like it, but I was kind of doubting myself. And it would be crazy. I know technically there's some point out rule where if you're top 10 in points in 450, you can't drop down to 250. One, I feel like that's BS, especially if it's a leader going up to do that. It would be absolutely crazy if he went back, raced another West Coast round, won that too. And, you know, who knows how long you could do this. Not saying he's going to go beat Braden Carter, but that would be the craziest story, I think, in sim history if someone went perfect between both classes. Just, you know, throwing it out there. It's possible so far. It's just same thing with Jet Lawrence going 24-0. After, or 22-0, after your first 2 or 3 motos, you got to start, you know, it's possible. Yep. You're on the track.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think Shirley knows it's possible. I know that talking about the point out rule, because if he's top 10 in points, he can't drop back down as he's the leader of 250 West, as you mentioned. But he's going to bring this thing all the way to the flag by the looks of it. Carter did everything he could. He threw everything at him in the final stages of this one, but Shirley is still just cruising with the lead. He's quadding in the ruts. No problem. Look at this. Busting out the quad right there. Downside. Easy quad into the corner right there. And coming down through the whoops, Seth Shirley is going to bring this thing to the flag. Detroit Supercross, welcome home. Your first time 450 Supercross winner. Seth Shirley takes the dub here tonight in Detroit. Battle is going on now. Carter's getting lapped by Hubbard. He's got every teammate in the world in front of him. Magnetti goes down right in front of him. The seas absolutely part, and Carter gets through. Doesn't matter. Well, actually, it almost would have mattered as, oh my goodness,
Siebel and Leclerc
are down 2 turns from the end.
Luke Sullivan.
With Luke Sullivan, who's going to get all the way up to a podium spot, and it's going to be Carter second. Sully gets on the box here in Detroit. Siebold salvages with a 4th, almost ended up on the podium as well. Leclerc rounds out the top 5. Rogers ends up 6th, and the last guy on the lead lap was in 2nd forever. Braden Castellaneta is going to get 7th. Leitzel 8th, Lang 9th, and Noah Bindis rounds out the top 10 in this one. We'll wait for those penalties to come in, but how about that dub for Seth Shirley on the number 2 ride? Penalties in, top 5 stays the exact same. Behind that, we had Hubbard 11th, Vial, Magnetti, Burns, Holm, Allen, Davis, Haley, Parks, Horn, Marchini, and Briscoe was the field in this one. A-Wood, Seth Shirley comes to the 450 class and picks up the win here in Detroit.
Absolutely impressive. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. I know Carter went down at the end there, last corner, 23.8 second lead. He did not have the fastest lap time. Carter was able to pick that up on lap 18, but I mean, what a huge lead going on there. Those guys lapped up to 8th place in your first 450 win, coming over from going undefeated so far in the 250 West class. Comes over with a sick little FXR kit and goes ahead and just absolutely dominates the multi-time, pretty much undefeated in the last 3 or 4 championships that he's raced in, Braden Carter. What a statement to come out and do this. And man, if he moves up for outdoors, it's going to be a very fun, or keeps racing some West or some 450 rounds as we go back to East Coast. It's going to be a very interesting year. Even if, like I said, the championship's not super interesting because Carter has such a big lead, at least we get to see some people come up and play spoiler with him.
No question about it. All right, back in studio with you guys one final time here tonight. Kellen Brower, Andrew Wood, giving you guys the goods from Detroit 250 East kicked off. What a opening round that was, with Rasmus Balzer, Johnny Padani, and Austin Partolo going all the way to the checkered flag. Definitely tune back into that one if you missed it earlier on. Incredible race. And then, yeah, we have another first-time winner in the 450 class. I think Detroit delivered tonight, Wood?
Yeah, I mean, was this some of the best racing we've seen so far? I mean, we're 5 rounds in, but I'm actually really impressed. I think it was really fun. New set of faces in 250 class. Super great top 3 racing in that 250 class. And then, we're seeing some fun, different stuff happen in the 450 class. It's just, I don't know, it's very fun. These series can get stale quick sometimes, depending on kind of what's happening at the very top. But when you start to dig deeper, look at some other storylines, I do think it starts to get a lot more fun. And I do think we're in for a great rest of the year. 5 rounds done and dusted, 12 rounds to go. I think it's going to be a great rest of the Supercross season.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. No question about it. This is going to be fun all the way down to the very end. Well, thanks for everybody tuning in tonight to the Detroit MX Simulator Supercross. Next week is Glendale, one of the best floor plans of the year, one of the gnarliest tracks that we're going to see all season, so you will not want to miss that. Same time, same place, live here on Start Your Systems TV on Twitch at 6:15 p.m. Pacific, 9:15 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you there in Glendale in the desert next week. Thanks for tuning in. Andrew, thanks for joining me again tonight, and we'll see you guys next week in Arizona. Bye-bye.